Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Y'all know we got a good one for you. We got a good one for you today. We got to talk about something. We're gonna ask you a question today. We're gonna ask you a question, and we want to get deep into this little question if we can. But before we go another step further, before we do anything different, I got to say good morning to Captain Leonard. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem, in the morning, Glow family.
Yes, sir. How's your morning going so far, brother?
Oh, we pushing along. We steadily praying,
There you go.
though.
Hey, can't stop doing that. Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, but my thing is, man, we're gonna talk about something. We got a lot of people that's gonna call, hopefully gonna tune in today and share their heart on what we're talking about today. But and it's a very simple question. Leonard, a lot of times people go through different things. They have issues in their lives, and we all, Leonard, have a past. We all have a past, and some of the things about our past we're not always too happy or too pleased with. But I'm asking a question today. What are you looking back for? What are you looking back for? Because whatever's in your past, it is your past. You can't do anything to fix it, to change it, or anything. I mean, you could go and try and do some damage control, but you can't change what happened. You can't change what happened. What happened in the past is in the past. And the best thing that a person could do, the wisest thing that a person could do, I think, Leonard, is to move forward past whatever happened in the past. What do you say to that?
But think about it. That's why they call it the past.
Come on. Come on.
Because it already happened. Now, like you said before, now you may have to make amends for some things, but you always gonna go forward, even if you don't want to. Time gonna keep going.
Yeah.
The only person that's gonna be stuck is you.
But for
Everything else is definitely be moved.
exactly. But for but Leonard, a lot of times, and I'm sure you've seen it many times over, a person gets so caught up in that past. They'll get so caught up on the past and what happened in the past that they can almost keep their future prisoner. What do you say to that?
And that's what usually happens. That's what a lot of people do. I mean, like you say, everybody don't want to be healed.
Yeah. Wow.
And I respect that. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's wise. But if you want to live your life a certain way, full of misery and regret, that's up to you. That's up to you.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why someone would desire that or why they would be stuck in that, especially when you can look right down the street and see daylight.
Exactly. Come on, Leonard. Yes, sir.
It just don't make sense. But I'm pretty sure someone can call in and explain if they've ever been caught up into that. Like, say, for instance, depression is just that. It's a low point. It's a low point. It shouldn't drag. Even when I feel myself going to the dark places, I have to be very careful.
Yeah.
Because you shouldn't stay there. Keep moving. Keep moving.
And see, and that, and you said something real powerful there. See, I tell people this. Somebody came to me. I know this one person in particular, and he asked me the question because when I said it to him, he was like, "Wow." But I had a friend of mine, and I said, "Hey man, hey, how you doing, brother?" And he said, "Man, I'm gonna tell you something. Right now, brother, I'm going through hell." And I looked at him, and before I know it, I told him, I said, "That's good, brother. Don't stop." And when I said that to him, I think it kind of shocked it kind of shook him a little bit because my thing is, if you're going through hell, go through, but don't stop.
That's right.
Don't stop there.
Don't stop.
What you gonna stop for?
Don't stop.
If you're going through, keep going. At least you're going through it, and if you keep going, you're gonna find the other side.
You got to. But I tell you what, if you stand still, you're gonna burn up.
You're gonna burn. Come on, Leonard.
Because I ain't never known nobody stayed there and was successful
No.
and made it or anything like that. They usually wound up somewhere in a gutter somewhere.
Exactly. And so that's why when somebody says, and I want, and I'm gonna lend this to everybody that's listening right now. If somebody tell you they're going through hell, tell them to keep going.
Just keep going. Just keep going. Because I had 9 times out of 10, some things just happen.
Yeah.
And you have to meet them. You just have to face the challenge. And that's what them challenges are gonna do to you. They gonna make you want to stop.
Give up.
They're gonna make you want to they're gonna make you want to give up. That's what a challenge is. And most people, either you meet that challenge head on, or you mess around there and get knocked down, and now you start harboring all these feelings.
Exactly.
Then, like I said, before you know it, I mean, man, some people bury themselves. And that's what's so sad. Because as a rational person, I want to do it sometimes too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I try sometimes to see, okay, what if I felt this way? I'm like, oh, that's terrible. That's worse than the problem.
Yep. Come on.
You know, I can't do that. That's not me. I'm just gonna sit here and I'm gonna do like everybody else. No, because that's not me.
Yeah.
It's just not me. You know, it's just not me to do that. I don't like being in a bad mood.
Exactly.
And when I feel it, I really want to get rid of it. So I try to seek those things to lift my mood.
Come on.
Not make it worse.
Because my thing is, man, Leonard, people tell me I'm wrong when I say this right here, but I really think that a person is responsible for the way that they feel themselves. You're responsible for the way that you feel. If you feel yourself going in a slump or something like that, hold on. And just like you said, hold on, we're not going here today. Hold on, we're not doing this. We're not doing this today. No. And gather yourself, collect yourself, and do whatever you got to do to get yourself out of that rut that you're about to place yourself in. Because I'm gonna tell you something. It'll start with 5 minutes, then it's 20 minutes. Then it's a couple hours, and before you know it, your whole day is destroyed because you allowed yourself to stay in that rut. Talk to me, Leonard.
And it's about, a lot of people are just living and saying things instead of practicing things. You have to practice.
Yep. And it's not easy now.
Get good at it.
And it's not easy.
It's not easy. That's like meditation. You have to practice. It's a practice. It don't just automatically happen.
Yeah, exactly.
And what you contribute to it each and every day, that makes you stronger and stronger. So, sometimes you should have some, like, what? It doesn't matter what it is. If it's a favorite TV show that makes you laugh, go watch it. If it's a song that makes you feel better, go listen to it.
Exactly.
If you feel better by going for a walk, go for a walk. That's practice. Or you can sit around and talk about it.
Sit around and waddle.
You have a little pity party with you and your friends.
Well, look here, I'm gonna tell you, I don't want no invitation. You don't have to send me an invitation to that one because I don't want to come. I don't want to come to that. Because I'm gonna be the what they call it, party pooper. Because I'm gonna ask you the question: what in the world are y'all? What y'all doing? What is really going on?
I do believe one thing that's different. A feeling is just that. It's a feeling. I wouldn't say you can necessarily control how you feel. You can control how you respond.
Yeah, good.
To that feeling.
Good. That's good. Your reaction to it.
Yes, and that's what the practice is about. Because you want to come up with a way to address that feeling that you have, especially if you don't like it.
Exactly. 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. The phone lines are open. 678-381-1973. We're talking about, what are you looking back for? What are you looking back for? That happened. It may have been terrible. But how long are you going to live in that spot, in that space? How long are you going to live there? What are you looking back for? What you looking back at it for? You know what happened back there. You know what happened. You still may be feeling some kind of way because it happened. But why you, if the milk spilled on the table, you're gonna stand there for a week and look at the milk on the table? Or you gonna clean it up? The milk waste on the table. Yeah, you're just about to make your favorite bowl of cereal. Bless your heart. But the last little bit of milk that you had wasting and it fell over and it spilled onto the table. Now what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Now you can do one or two things. You can put them cereal back, or you can clean that milk up and go to the store and buy yourself another gallon of milk or whatever, however much milk you're gonna buy, and enjoy your bowl of cereal. But you're gonna sit there and stare at the milk on the table as it rolls off the table and fall onto the floor. Now you got a spill on the table and the floor. Leonard, somehow that just don't make sense to me.
Well, people do a lot of things that they don't make sense. And that's even a term right there. Does it make sense? Does it really make sense what you do? You know how when you got a kid that's just acting up or whatever, okay, stop. Does that really make sense what you're doing?
Exactly.
Did you think about it a little bit more? Because there are some people that just go strictly on their emotions. They don't think about nothing. If I feel like this is what I'm gonna do.
React.
I feel. So, there are consequences with those actions. And that's how you put yourself and your life into perspective. How I'm going to react to what happened. How am I going to react to what happened? Do you really just ask yourself that? You say that people say a lot of what ifs when we do what ifs. So how many people have said what if, and then that real situation presents itself? Did you?
Oh, we lost Leonard. Okay, there you go. There we go. We got him back. Good deal. Go ahead.
Yeah. Did you behave? It's how you behave when the actual situation occurred. That we can talk about what if. But if that what if and you talking about it don't match with your practice, did you really respond that way when it happened? See, if you practice for things, say for instance, emergency preparedness, you practice for the what if.
Yeah.
And so if that thing happens, guess what you do? You do what you practice. This is the way we respond to this level of threat. We've been through the exercises, we've rehearsed it, we've examined the scenarios. This is what we do. And even if, like you say, even if it don't all work out, at least you try to prepare. To get ahead of it.
Exactly.
And a lot of times that's what we have to think about life. And so some people sit around and just wait for stuff to happen. They're just so irresponsible. Whatever happens, just happens to them. Whatever they do, they just get in. People just always in mess. They're always in mess. Like I said, just because a man is black don't mean he's your friend.
Come on.
I was like, you down there, and people get shot at the stove. They selling dope, but all of a sudden now you down there standing around.
In the very spot that they got shot in.
Yeah, but you try to tell everybody it ain't what it is. Yeah, we've been here for years. We know that story. And people get killed there all the time. Guess what they be doing? Standing around looking for trouble.
Exactly. One of the
that's how it happened to you.
Exactly. Exactly. Leonard, let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in school, elementary, mainly elementary, or maybe even middle, not so much high school, but elementary or middle school, and a fire broke out in the school?
Oh, they burned my school down twice. And we had to relocate to an older building. And I'll never forget it. I'll never forget the smell reading those burnt books.
Yeah. Wow.
I'll never forget that smell and things, that way.
And see,
but it wasn't gonna stop us from learning.
Exactly. And I was using, and I didn't know that it happened to you because I was using a scenario of me myself personally, and we got another caller going to go to the call as well. But me myself personally, we never had a fire in the school, in the school, middle or elementary school that I've gone to. But every year, especially in elementary school, every year, maybe 2 times a year, we had a fire drill.
Oh yeah.
We had a fire drill.
And it's just good that we went into school when it was on fire.
Yeah, exactly. Because that could have been a terrible situation. But my thing is, we had that fire drill, and why do we have a fire drill every year, maybe twice a year? Is to be prepared just in case.
Just in case. Just in case.
That's the point.
And that's a concept that a lot of people, they look over.
Yep. Just in case.
You know, okay, if this happens, if plan A, like I say, you should have a plan B. What's plan B? You know, not saying plan A don't work.
Yeah.
But just in case.
Just in case.
Just in case.
Wow. Got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Morning, Glow family. What's going on? How y'all doing?
Well, Kurt.
Morning, Kurt.
What's going on, sir? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, good deal. Good to have you, man. Definitely good to have you, man. We asking a question, and we got another caller. Caller, we coming to you in just 1 second. Phone lines are getting hot this morning. I love it when they do that. But Kurt, we're asking a question. What are you looking back for? What are you looking back for? Because what happened a lot of time, and I'm sure you've seen something happened in their life. Maybe even when they're 12, in their teens, and they'll live right there. They're 30 and 40 years old, 50 years old, and they're still living in that spot where it happened at. Now, we're not saying that, you have to forget or it wasn't traumatic. Maybe it was traumatic. Maybe it hurt you. We don't want to be insensitive and say that it did not. But at the same time, you cannot live there. You can't keep living. I said something earlier. If you spill milk on the table, you want to make a bowl of cereal, you spill milk on the table, what you gonna do? You gonna clean the milk up, or you gonna sit there and watch the milk as it pour from the table to the floor? Now you got two messes. What are we looking back for, Curtis?
We don't know. It's safe to do that. You gotta understand human behavior, baby. It's safe to do that. You see what I'm saying? Looking back is the one thing that decreases the level of disappointment. You see what I'm saying? Because when you're looking back, when you're living back, you always know how it ends. You understand what I'm saying?
But how do you move? How do you move forward? If you're always looking back and you're looking back, how do you move forward?
You can't. And for anybody that tell you that they can, they telling you a fib. You can look back for reflection. Hey, you can look back for reflection, but you can't. You cannot live in your past, man. If you live in your past, you down to repeat it in your future. That's the one thing I done learned. And I didn't learn by hearing. I learned by doing. You know, I lived a long time in my past, and as a result of living in my past, I always repeated my past and my future. But it's a Kurt now.
Yeah.
In a new era, in a new day, and I will no longer live in my past.
Come on.
And my past dictate my future. If that's the case, then I ain't gonna be nothing. And I'm sorry to say it like that, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be nothing. God has shown me this year right here, in the midst of everything that is going on, God has shown me clearly what the possibilities of my future can be. And I'm happy with that.
There you go.
And I'm going on and do what thus said the Lord is telling me to do, man. You know what I mean? I just got recognized after 30 years. I guess you could say 30 years, 1989. In a career, so that's what, 30 years?
Yeah.
It's 31 years, something like that. And I just now got recognized for the first time, like truly recognized by, I guess you can call them movers and shakers of the industry. But,
Yes, sir.
You know, and I'm still doing free work, Rodney. You know what I mean? So, man, you can't. You know, I mean, some people say it's easier said than done. Like, it's easy for you to say that. But you cannot live in your past. You can use the past as a tutorial, which is what I'm learning to do now. It's use it as a tutorial so that the things that you see and or go through don't get you so angry or frustrated that you wind up doing something stupid.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Let me live there.
Exactly. Let me go to the other caller. We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
No, this is Rico calling from Anderson, Alabama. How's everybody doing this morning?
Rico, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Rico.
We're asking. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're asking a question on what are you looking back for? What are you looking back for? And you heard the description I gave about the milk and different things that people in their lives. Rico, why are we looking back? What are we looking? It happened. Yes, it happened. We're not insensitive to say that we don't care. We do care, but at the same time, we care enough for you that we want to help you move forward and move past that. So why are we looking back? What are we looking back for?
I'm gonna keep it in the context of the question you asked. Because you didn't ask how we living in the past. You asked what are we looking back for. So
yes.
You know, with everything there's a pro and a con. And I think most times we look back so we don't repeat the same mistakes or sins of our ancestors past. You know, like Curtis said, you can look back for reference. You already looked back when you said that about middle school and the fire drill.
Yeah.
That's why, for reference. For wise men's tales. You know, we speak on our experiences so some people don't have to go through those same experiences. You don't want them to keep running around bumping their heads and chasing their tails when we did it already for them. So we're going to look back and we're going to tell them, look, man, this is what the result is going to be. Now, on the other end of it, some people are living in the past because they're traumatized. You know, so when they're traumatized, you know, it's hard to tell them or ask them that because if you're not careful, you'll be telling them to just get over it.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So it's a pro and a con to everything. You don't want to dwell and live in the past. You want to. Some people dwell in the past and they've been traumatized and they respond the wrong way. They respond angrily. Well, you might need to look back in the past. The other times you responded angrily and got these charges. I'm the one had, you know, they say a hard head make a soft foot.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes you look back and it still don't mean nothing. Maybe you forget what it felt like when you sat in jail so many days and you said to yourself, man, I ain't never coming back in here no more. Maybe you done got a little comfortable and you forgot what it was like when you was driving without that seatbelt. Or maybe you were texting and driving, you had a wreck one time, and now you done got comfortable again. Now you feel like you got it under control. Well, I didn't wreck because I was texting. I wrecked because they stopped in front of me. It was their fault. So you ain't looking back at the past. Sometimes you have to look back at the past to hold yourself accountable. Remember just exactly what happened and what the consequence was.
That's good. That's
good.
It's
a reminder. Lesson learned. You know what I'm saying? And so if we are supposed to be passing information down to our newer generation, you know what sometimes we say about what's wrong in our community is the fact that we didn't educate them and pass down our culture and our standards the way we were supposed to. But the only way we could have did that was to refer to the past or to do it because of the past. So I mean, you know, it's so many different ways you can look at things. You have to be careful. Now, if you ask me why we dwelling in the past, I can go in a different direction. But I'm going to try my best to make sure that I don't make your question mean what I want it to mean today.
There you go. Appreciate it. And see that's good because there's a lot of different elements and there's a lot of layers involved in this particular question right here because we look back. We can go biblical, we can go on worldly, but my thing is we still looking back. What are we looking back for? What are we looking to find? Are we looking to change anything at all, Leonard? Or are we just looking back? What's the whole purpose?
Sometimes people be looking, you know, it's crazy because sometimes people be looking back for an excuse. Sometimes people be looking back to blame somebody else or something. You know, I thought about when you were talking something that Kurt said that made a lot of sense. And I thought about it like this. Get in your car and constantly look in the rearview mirror and try to get to where you're going. Try it. See how it work out for you.
Not very well.
Matter of fact, get up and just try to walk out the house, but I want you to look over your shoulder the entire time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what it's like. That's what it's like. So, you know, and you have people that get in their feelings or whatever, or blah blah blah. If you didn't like Curtis is in the field of counseling and helping people, and you know one of the things you deal with in that area is people who may still be in some type of denial, maybe.
Yeah.
They may be living some alternative reality that just don't match what's really going on. And then when you realize these people living in their past, they're actually living in their past. And this is why they're left behind in everything. This is why nothing ever works out for them or anything. There's the best you can do in life is be present. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And see, and that's the part of the issue right there. They don't know what it is to be present because they're so caught up in the situation that happened in the past. They're so caught up in the hurt of the past. They're so caught up in this person did this to me. Why would they do that to me?
Right.
You shouldn't do that to me. And they they live there. They get caught up. They they find themselves like a statue, fixated.
It's a lot like the concept of a self. It's in the past. However, there's this concept called a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? That means that you actually created it. And you talked yourself into it.
Yeah. Wow. That's good, Leonard.
You did everything to get, you know what? You did everything you could to make whatever you had in your mind happen. Right? Now imagine if you chose something positive.
Come on. That's good. Kurt.
That's the difference. You're not choosing things positive.
Yeah.
It's like Rico was saying. You sitting in jail. All you thinking about is, I ain't never coming back. You know what I'm saying?
But see, even with that,
at some point, you have to think about. Okay, you got to know why you got there.
There you go. That's where I was about to go.
Do what you need.
Exactly. That's exactly where I was about to go. Absolutely.
Right. I don't have no sympathy for people that repeatedly do these things. Because I know I choose to do everything I do. I don't know how other people wind up in a situation. But I usually choose what I'm going to do.
678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. If you're available, give us a call. We love to hear your input. We're talking about what are you looking back for? What are you looking back for? What did you leave back there that was so important that you can't live your future life? Kurt, talk to me.
Talk to you about what, Raheem?
What is that?
What do you want me to talk to you
hey, come on. Hey, I'm looking for I'm looking for the counselor. I'm looking for the counselor, Curtis, today. What is it that a person left?
All the answers.
Huh?
All the answers have been put out there, bro. Unless you just want to expand on the ideology of what the need is.
Let's talk about the need. Let's talk about the need, the desire, and even the want. What do they want?
Okay, let me put it like this right here, from a therapeutic standpoint, right? I'm gonna be honest with you. It is in my belief that the world has got addicted to drama. Why is the world addicted to drama? Why is America addicted to drama? Because the truth be told, any form of drama or anger releases a certain amount of endorphins in the brain. It releases the same amount of endorphins that is released when one smokes a marijuana stick, smokes a crack cocaine, and or shoots and or sniffs or heroin and cocaine. Whenever you get high, the brain releases a certain amount of endorphins. That's what makes the addict and or alcoholic want to continuously remain in that state. Right? Well, anger does the same thing, right? drama can do the same thing. This is my belief, and I could be wrong. If there's a medical doctor who can expound on what I'm saying or shoot down what I'm saying, I highly recommend that they call in. Call in, but don't just call in and shoot it down. Call in and tell us the truth.
Yeah.
Call in and teach us. Don't just talk.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I am a strong and firm believer that people have gotten addicted to their own drama. It makes folks feel important. It makes, like you have people that in the field of behavior modification, we got this terminology. Leonard might be familiar with it. Rico is probably familiar with it as well. It's called victim stancing. You know what a victim stancer does? A victim stancer is the one who would smack you in the mouth right here, and then the authorities become the victim.
And
now they just smack you in the mouth.
Right? And they slap me in the mouth. They're gonna be the victim. They're gonna be the victim. They're gonna be the victim.
Now, but you're so crazy. But do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they are the person that constantly lives in their own victimization. You know, everything about their lives is centered around what happened to them. So basically, what I'm telling you is they constantly live their life in a state of what happened, not in what was corrected. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, it is my strong and fervent belief that America has become addicted to drama, which as a result release certain endorphins in your brain and stimulate certain stimuli in your spirit. And America has become addicted to that. So I'll do anything I can to get that endorphin released. So if that means I gotta live in this horrible past that I have, then I'll do that. If I gotta continuously bring it up, I'll do that too. I'll do anything to feed my addiction.
Wow.
And you know, it's really a good work, and it's funny that Curtis mentioned that, because one of the things that I'm working on now is the theory of victimization exploitation. And it's centered around, it has a lot to do with the victim stancing type of thing, where one, I'm going to exploit my victimization.
Right.
Wow.
You know, it's not, and it's sad because you may need healing and help, but because you get on this and you start to exploit it, and like Kurt said, if anyone gives you any positive reinforcement, you're going to continue to do that. And like he says, you're going to be living based on something that happened.
Exactly.
And you will fight with folks that's trying to help you. It's like, you know, I said before the other day, there's some people for some reason that have this affinity for viewing themselves as slaves. Why would you do that? What type of positive reinforcement are you getting by saying to yourself, I am a slave, I'm not worth anything, I will never accomplish anything because nothing has been created for me?
Wow. I can't see any. I can't see, looking at a lot of layers, I can't see any positive in that at all. Let me go to Mr. Donald Toussaint. Donald Toussaint, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Doing well. Good morning, brothers.
Hey, good morning. What are we looking back for, Donald? Most of the majority of the time, what is a person looking back for? Why are they living so much in the past that they cannot enjoy or appreciate their future?
I told my brother one time, I said, man, every time I turn around, something happens. He says, quit turning around. So a lot of are affected by the past. What Leonard and Kurt was talking about just now perfectly describes the Trump syndrome. You know, he has lost and is losing by his own demise.
Mm-hmm.
If he would just keep his mouth shut, him and his people,
mm-hmm.
he would be the 46th president right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He did it to himself.
Mm-hmm.
He sabotaged the election
mm-hmm.
because he spoke against what worked, absentee voting.
Mm-hmm.
And he told his people it's a hoax. So they did not do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And he slapped folks in the mouth and said that they did him wrong.
Yeah.
He's still doing it.
Yeah.
And he won't quit.
Mm-hmm.
He won't shut his mouth. He just is. I just don't understand. But look, you know, even in relationships, you get into a relationship and you do something, and all of a sudden it's an explosion. And say, I ain't gonna take that no more.
Mm-hmm. Everybody mute your line. Everybody mute your line. We got some background coming from somebody's line. Everybody mute your line for me. Go ahead, Donald.
And no, and you be like, what are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Well, in my last relationship, you know, I ain't, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so we reflect on what happened,
mm-hmm.
and it affects not only what's in the present, but it affects your future.
Yeah.
Because now they're looking at you like you got issues.
Mm-hmm. Like you boo-boo the fool.
Undealt with issues. Mm-hmm. Like a mule looking at a new gate.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Mm. Like a mule looking at a new gate.
You know.
I tell you one thing. Donna got
used to it.
Donna got some pictures for you, boy. Think Donna won't show a picture, paint a picture for you. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
You know, I think, you know, I really think about the word research.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I said, it's a pro and a con to everything. You know what I'm saying? Now, you can look back in the past or you could dwell in the past. You could languish in the past. But at the same time, you have to sometimes look back in the past to find out where the source of a dysfunctional behavior or action came from. Maybe a bad law. What did this law come in on the books here? You hear what I'm saying? You have to do your research to find out where society is today. What got us in this situation? You know what I look back and found? I found out that when they started giving us rights as Black people, they started creating laws to put us in jail. I had to look back to find that out because I wonder, why is it that we are the majority of the population in prison, but we're in the majority of the population in just general society?
Mm-hmm.
I asked that question. I had to go find out. I had to find out the source of that dysfunctional staff that we are so much overwhelmingly the majority of the prison population, but we are, you know, not the majority of the general population.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go look back and find out where it started, the reason and the source of why they started. Then, you know, like I said, to go back and make sure we don't repeat these same dysfunctional behaviors. You know, how many times do I have to go to jail for anger management before I start realizing, you know what, I got to redirect my energy when I start feeling like I'm bad up. I got to quit knocking these people's head off. I got to quit taking these penitentiary chances.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I can't keep, you know, so you look back so you don't make the same mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's really just, like I said, it's a matter of context. You know, so everything has its purpose. You know what I'm saying? Some can hold you back, some can move you forward.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Some people look back in the past to find some relevance. That was the only time they accomplished something. So those are their glory days. Then they dwelling.
Mm-hmm.
They dwelling in, or maybe they dwelling in the past, trying to relive glory days because they ain't accomplished nothing with themselves since then.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they hoping don't nobody remember what happened in the past, so they can create something.
Mm-hmm.
To say they at least did something. And like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, it's so many different ways that, you know, people look back. It could be a positive or it could be a negative. You know what I'm saying? I look back sometimes and I think about, well, where did my source of needing anger management come from? You know, I think I told y'all once before, man. My father is extra peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
A peacemaker. My mom, she's peaceful. You know what I'm saying? So where did I get this problem from? for putting my hands on people. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I had to go back and do it and look in the past and realize that behavior was implemented in me through programming from this person. And it kept happening. So I felt like that was the way I was supposed to cope because they did. And now I realize where it came from and I can fix that. Because I know it ain't right, but it kept happening.
Yeah.
You know, you got some people say that gay people are born gay. You get what I'm saying? But you know how many gay people don't came back and said, you know what? I wouldn't be like this if I hadn't looked back and remembered that so-and-so did this to me and kept doing this to me, and I didn't know that it wasn't right. I thought it was normal and it was okay. So I had to look back and find out the whole time what they were doing was wrong. It wasn't normal. The whole time they were thinking it was normal. You get what I'm saying? So it's so many different reasons why a person does look back. To try to find the source, to research what got us where we are right now.
Now, Leonard, do you think it's possible that a person could look back and not like what they see, but still dwell there?
Well, I'm not sure. I believe it's possible, but I'm not sure it works that way. If when you're looking back in retrospection and you researching things,
yes,
that's different. However, when you stuck in something that is not real, that is not a current reality, you have to deal with it, because what happened then it's not happening now. You know, now you've heard the common term, hurt people, yes. I think we say, and things like that. And I always say, well, if it hurts you, why are you doing it to somebody else?
Exactly.
If it hurts you so bad.
It doesn't make sense, does it?
That leads me sometimes to doubt the hurt involved. Because one, I am a critical thinker, which means I'm never just satisfied with what's on the surface of things. Never. Because if someone says something, I'm like, it really don't make sense. I got to go find out why it doesn't make sense to me. You know, stuff like that. Or, you know, like we were talking about before, and all the things that we say, like the little, what you call them, cliches. And
yeah.
And you're like, that's really not very intelligent. Or that's, you know, I can see why you don't get nothing and you stupid, because look at what you say.
Yeah.
And what you do and what you have in your conscious. If that is in your consciousness, I mean, how are you going to get rid of that? So that's why I believe that people should be practicing doing that work on themselves instead of always trying to do something to somebody else and put people in a box and prescribe something for them.
So basically what I'm hearing you say is a lot of times we find ourselves so busy and fixated on trying to fix somebody else, we don't realize we're broken.
Right. The best counselors in the world have counselors. Because it's always great to get another person's opinion.
Yeah.
Because, like, say, for instance, I have been in counseling for about 15 years or so. But it's always to make sure I'm looking for balance.
Yeah.
It's to always get that unbiased opinion. You know, what does it look like from that side of the table? I'm even interested in that point. You know, what is really going on as opposed to what I think is going on.
Yeah.
You know, I've accepted the fact, like Rico's story. Rico says, well, why do I got to put my hands on people?
Yeah.
See, Rico has to go and find that out about Rico. That may not be why I do it.
Yeah. It's all individually based.
Right. It's individual. And that's why I don't like those terms that we is okay if we agree.
Yeah. What happened if we don't?
Us okay if it's really us. See, I've gotten to the point where now, one, I understand the difference. Because sometimes y'all foolish.
Yeah.
Sometimes y'all don't live in reality. And y'all want everybody to think like y'all, be like y'all, and have the same desires as y'all. And really, that's just ridiculous.
It's not right.
We're not even going to say right or wrong. It's not rational. Doesn't have to be right or wrong. It's not rational that everybody would be the same. A lot of some of us only have in common is the fact that oppression is just that. We have that in common because the criteria was the color of our skin. And that's why we were in a certain position. But that's not why Rico got more money than Leonard.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not why Rico has a great life and Leonard doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
See, that we don't work like that. See, we can't do that.
Yeah.
Rico got to do Rico and I got to do Leonard.
Come on. Mm-hmm.
And then once we get that together, we can come together to do something else.
Do something more positive.
Right, to do something more positive.
Mm-hmm.
Or we could probably help one another. You know, that's possible as well.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times you have people who simply have not, I don't know if it's for lack of being taught,
mm-hmm.
or is it actual ignorance is bliss, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, that's one of those cliches that we use, ignorance is bliss. And I do understand, if you think the water is good and you drinking it and it's working fine, it's great.
Mm-hmm. But
then when somebody tell you lead in it, you don't understand how that changes your perception.
You got to change the whole dynamics of it.
Now, this thing that you did not know could kill you.
Mm-hmm.
But you did not know it. You was fine.
Living well.
That's why knowing and seeking knowledge is so important.
Mm-hmm.
It's for you to make better choices.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So that's why you should be looking back, researching, trying to figure out your issues.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Good deal. Let me go to Toussaint. Donald, and I'm gonna ask you this question. A lot of time, do we when the situation happens in our lives, do we majority of the time act or do we react to what happens, Donald?
It's a reaction. While we all were talking, I thought about something. I don't know if it's a learned behavior or it's just in us to look back. Let me just throw this out here. Here you got a people that have been enslaved for 400 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
They finally have a redeemer or a deliverer.
Mm-hmm.
And they get to the brink of the ark of safety, and they start talking about cucumbers, watermelons, and grapes. We're just like the children of Israel. It's in us. And we play the blame game. And we've been playing the blame game since the beginning of time.
Mm-hmm.
And especially us men, I hate to throw us out there like that. But mostly, if you want to see a man fall, it's by the hands of a woman. And we tell God, it's that woman you gave. You know, but I look at children, here they are at the Red Sea with a pocket full of money.
Mm-hmm.
And trouble comes, they've seen God done amazing things, miraculous things. And so they have the confidence in Him that He can deliver and set them free. And He's seen what He did with the hand, with the enemy before. Mm-hmm. But here He's chasing them, and they say, Moses, you left us out, you brought us out here to die.
Yeah, yeah.
We could have died in Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, they got good cucumbers and watermelon. We ate like but you was in slavery.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like us. Just like us. Some of these, I can't say that. Some of us talking about either us or them, talking about either going back or sending us to Africa. What you gonna do when you get there?
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's good.
Because you can't speak the language,
and
you can't run from lions. And then that's a misconception, because Africa is actually beautiful and the most richest country in the world.
But how do you
think there's always? They think we let them fool us into thinking there's nothing but jungle there.
But one thing that you have to get accustomed to if you're gonna go to Africa, you got to get accustomed to that heat. That heat is hot. It's hot, brother. It's hot.
We can't.
It's
We
hot.
can't stand Florida.
Exactly, boy. It's hot. It is. It ain't hot. It's hot. Toya with the tea. Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, y'all. How are y'all? I'm good.
Good morning, Toya.
Good. Hey, Toya, you been listening this morning? I need to catch you up.
I just heard Toussaint talking about Africa.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say I'd rather get mauled by a lion than the NYPD. I mean, I'm just saying if I go to Africa,
Lord.
I'd rather get caught up by a stingray or antelope than these old dirty old cops over here. I ain't doing nothing, walking down the street. They just want to shoot because my window didn't roll down. At least a lion doing an act of nature. Hey, what you doing out here? It's the jungle. I mean, like that's the, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm, exactly.
I know how to speak African very well. I watched Shaka Zulu 3 times.
Oh, so now you Swahili. Now you can speak the Swahili.
That's right.
Oh Lord, oh Lord. But what we're talking about today is what are we looking back for? What are we looking back for? And far too often people get in situations where, something happened in their life. And we said earlier, as a teenager, now they're 30, 40, and 50 years old and they still living in that spot. So what are we looking back for? What is so important back there that's holding us in that spot that we can't move forward and enjoy our lives? What do you say to that, Toya? What are we looking back for?
I'm sorry. We don't want to make the future. Mm-hmm. Ain't nothing in the future. We got to build it. We got to make it. Mm-hmm. Everything in the past is what somebody else done. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, when we start to take over these cities that we didn't build, because we got to move forward. Mm-hmm. We keep looking back like, that's the best life. It's the best thing you ever done. But there's levels to this thing right here. Mm-hmm. We don't know about tomorrow. We don't know what to do. But for nothing, like I said, we don't want to build tomorrow. Mm-hmm. You don't want to take the sweat and blood and tears it takes to rebuild the country. You don't want to take the sweat, blood, and tears to go grow your own food, knowing that they're poisoning you. You don't want to take the whole blood, sweat, and tears to build your own house. You much rather go get them $200,000 and get upside down in a mortgage. That's why we look back. We don't want to do it ourselves. Mm-hmm. We want it done for us. We're so comfortable and so laid back. And I'm going to say the word again, sorry. We just say we not all we want to. You can get up and go work the $100,000 job. It don't make no difference. Mm-hmm. We're talking about ancestors who had to build their own houses, tend to their own land, take care of their own animals, take care of their own kids. We're not doing that. Mm-hmm. So that means as soon as this plug get pulled on America, what you gonna do? You're gonna be running around here talking about what to eat when there's dirt all over the place. What I'm gonna do about lights and gas because you're not used to being able to deal with just regular sunlight because we're so sorry and trapped up in what we got going on. As if this world or this United States is like this everywhere. It's not. There's people right outside your corner door that ain't got no lights, that ain't got no house. And we sitting up here talking about, oh, what I'm going to do about tomorrow? Oh, you're going to rebuild. You're going to start over. It's like the kids when they came to the other side of that ocean. It wasn't nothing. They had to build it. They had already built it for Pharaoh. They didn't want to do it again for themselves. And that's why we keep looking at it.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's good. Leonard, talk to me, brother.
I like what Toya said. Mm-hmm. A lot of it makes sense. I was reading about Tulsa. Mm-hmm. And because people always use that as their go back to it when Black people were doing so great.
Yeah.
The Black people that were doing it at the time was doing it because it was necessary. Mm-hmm. It was necessary for them to do that.
Yeah. In order to survive.
But it was going to be outside.
Yeah.
So they had to work. Mm-hmm. They had to build that. Mm-hmm. And it took everyone committed to a particular thing to get it done.
Yeah.
While you glorifying that. Mm-hmm. You don't know what it took. You're not willing to work as hard as they work. You're not willing to confront what they had to confront to do what they did.
To get there. Yep, exactly.
And so you love the glory of saying it and doing it, but are you really into that? Mm-hmm. I was looking for some reference in the scripture related to the subject, and it wound up in Ezekiel. People should read Ezekiel 18. And Ezekiel 18 pretty much talks about because your father and all this has done all these things and has sinned and fallen. And it even goes into detail. Men, read it. Mm-hmm. how you should treat one another.
Come on.
And things like that. And if you don't, this is sin. This is what will separate you from God, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't care what your father was doing.
Mm-hmm.
If you keep my statutes,
come on,
and my ways, I'm going to bless you despite your father.
Come on, say it.
If the son does some things, I mean, his father could have been as upright, follow the precepts and commandments. But now if he has a son that goes astray and does these things, guess who's going to suffer? The son should suffer. Because the son did those things.
Yeah, it's his acts.
Right. So this notion that I got to be dirty because my daddy was dirty, or that's why I'm this way, and that, leave that alone. God even says there's these proverbs that you keep using. This one I want you to stop. Is that one, you can't do no better. You can't change it. All you have to do is keep my
commandments.
Absolutely. All you have to do, are you bribing people? Are you killing people? What are you doing? What are you doing? Because this is why you're going to be suffering. So Ezekiel says, the fathers have eaten sour grapes and the children's teeth are set on edge. We have to understand that even though you didn't come from the best place or certain things happen, you're still responsible. You don't get to put that on your daddy because you doing what you're doing. You have to own that to change that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And you have to quit thinking that you're gonna be able to blame because somebody done something to you.
Yep.
They're gonna give you a right to do it to somebody else, and that makes it right.
And that goes back to what you said earlier. If you hurt, why you want to get that same hurt to somebody else?
And I used to think about that all the time. Hurt people hurt. But if people didn't want to be hurt, why they hurting other people?
Exactly.
If it didn't feel good to you,
what make you think?
Why would you do it to someone else unless you wanted to cause that other person pain?
Exactly. Rico, talk to me, brother.
It goes back to what I was saying earlier, man. I like what Toya said too. You know, I think about all the time. You know, when I'm walking and I'm going live, man, I tell people all the time, you know, what would happen if this power grid shut down and we had to rely on our resources again? We had to start from scratch with farming, tilling up land, being carpenters. What if we had to go back to bartering and helping our neighbors and growing gardens? We would be up the creek.
Yep.
We'd be up the creek because we didn't keep our history intact. Maybe you know, there's a few people that know how we survived in those harsh conditions. You know what I mean? And it's just not even a black and white thing. But I think about just from the history of man's standpoint. You know, at one point in time, people had to survive without air conditioning and heat.
But you know what, Rico? I don't mean to cut you off, but I wanted to make sure because so people understand. Okay, thank you, Toya. Thank you, because that's exactly what I was going to say. You know, when you go on vacation, you see the shacks.
It depends on where you are.
You see, I'm riding horses. I'm riding horses in the ocean.
Yeah.
$200 just to ride this horse for 30 minutes in the ocean.
Come on.
Yeah.
And the guy putting me on the horse probably living in that tin shack up there on the hill.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. He ain't got no electricity. When he want to eat, you know what he do? Go down to the ocean, get his food.
Yeah.
He go outside, get his herbs. And that's how they live.
Yeah.
So now it's the least of us could teach those who think that they were the most how to live and survive. You understand? It works together. We sit up here real high and we talk, man, that would be real. It'd just be uncomfortable. But trust me, you would find a way.
Yeah.
Some people will kill you before they go to that and living like that. They'll kill you before they got to go back living like that. What you gonna take me out of my penthouse suite? I'll kill you before I have to go live in a forest with the light from the land and eat what? They think they're gonna lose everything? They will kill people behind that.
You mean I got to wear the same clothes every day?
Yeah, you sure do.
See, that's the reason why we would live back.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the reasons why we would look back to learn how to survive in case things did go downhill like that. Because people do survive. Everybody survives. I mean, we wouldn't be here to this day if people didn't survive the Ice Age.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you crazy stuff I watched.
So many different, so many different eras of plagues. Think about, if we look back in the past, actually, we probably wouldn't be going through the situation we're going through with this pandemic we got going on. But then, I'm gonna lighten it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like sometimes you have to go back and look at game film. Like Pittsburgh will have to go back and look and see why they were looking like such buffoons the last couple of weeks. So they gonna clean up that mess they had out on the field.
They go back to the tapes. They gotta go back to the tapes.
Lord, my Jesus. Okay.
How we lost that game?
What the hell? Bill Roethlisberger, what you looking back for? You should have looked back at the Baltimore guy.
How we lost that game?
I don't want it to come back on Alabama.
It's coming back.
We gotta look. It's a preparation thing. You get what I'm saying? I mean, you have to hold it in a correct context. You don't want to get stuck in the past,
right?
Because you can't get stuck in the past. Or to me, you research the past if you're trying to find some progress.
Yeah.
That's when it's good to look to the past when you're trying to get something positive out of it to make you move forward. And so sometimes you might have to look back in the past and say, well, you know what? I see where I got this violent tendency from. I see why I react this way. Let me go talk to a therapist or a counselor. And sometimes they're gonna make you do what? They're gonna make you look back.
Yep. Make face it, put it right in your face. Yeah, gonna make you face it. 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. Badger, I see you out there, brother. I see you out there, man. You get a chance, give us a call. We definitely love to have you as a part of the conversation. Badger, I'm calling you out, brother. Give us a call. 678-381-1973. Donald Toussaint, talk to me.
Raheem, don't say it. Don't say it.
Oh, I was about to say it, brother. I was about to say it.
But yesterday I didn't even have my phone. I had my earphones and my earpiece in my ear, and I was on the other side of the warehouse, and I was just listening in, and Raheem said, "Toussaint, wake up and go to sleep." I said to myself, I don't even have my phone. Anyway. I used to run track, and
hey Donald,
my thing was,
let me tell you something about that.
Yes, sir.
Toya said she outrun you, man.
No, right now she would. But back in the day, no sir.
I don't know now.
I'll go get you.
Talk about today.
I'll go get you. See how we reflected on the past? I done had my glory day just now, like Rico said.
Yes, sir.
I done had my. I was finna have my glory day.
We talking about today.
She's talking about today.
I was. Oh yeah, of course you're talking about today. Cause look. But anyway, my philosophy was when I was running, if I ever beat you, you'll never beat me again. If I ever pass you, you wasn't even in the race no. If I passed you, you was done. So I saw a lot of people that they was in front, but they looked back to see who was behind them. Who cares?
Yeah.
You're in front. You're running to the finish line.
Come on.
And a lot of times, the only thing that looking back does is slow you down.
Come on.
Because your momentum changes when you turn your head.
That's right.
And that's the same way life is. Why are we looking back? Even Scripture says, I'm pressing on. I forget those things that are behind, and I press
Hebrews.
more as I go. It's just that way. Because the worst thing we can do is you're talking that noise.
She talking noise.
I just had to throw that out there.
Got you.
Yeah, man. I was finna brag again, Rico. I was finna tell you how bad I was, boy. And you should see that center section right now. I get tired tying my shoes.
Lord, my Jesus. Rico, the glory days, man. And we talked about this a couple of days ago. Man, a fella said this, man, when I was in high school, man, I was the best football player that school ever seen. Okay, now you're 50. What is it? What else have you done? You're 50 now. Now you talk about something that happened when you was 14, 15, 16 years old. You're 50. What you looking back for? Talk to me, Rico.
You know what's really fun about that is that 17 or 18-year-old high school athlete they talking to then saying the same thing. They saying the same thing, man. That was then. This is now. I'm doing it now. You know, so I mean, like I said, that goes back to earlier, man. I mean, some people, they can't let that go because that was the best period in their life. Maybe that was the only time they had drive and motivation. You know, maybe that was the only time they had ambition. After that, they was just, you know, they felt like they had done it all. And I'm gonna be honest with you, that does happen because I had an uncle that played pro baseball, and he really trashed his career after 2 years. He played with Ozzie Smith. They came up in the farm league together. Actually, if you ever look at Beyond the Glory on FS1, they used to have that story on, and they focus on different athletes. And when they did one on Ozzie Smith, I just happened to be looking at it one day and seen a picture of him up there with my uncle when they played in Washington together. And so, you know, I can remember when I was young and I'd go up to his house, and he was still young enough to play baseball then. And I would just ask him, why didn't you keep playing? I didn't know his son was going to end up repeating the same mistake. Why didn't you, you know, go back? And why didn't you go back? And he was just like, man, you know what, Rico? I done been all out on the West Coast. I done messed with all kind of women, Chinese, white, Japanese, you name it. You make up a name, I done had them. I feel like I done did everything a man to do in life. All thing left for me to do is die.
Good Lord.
I said, huh? And my uncle wasn't but like 30-something then, because I had to be like 17 or 18, you know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking to myself, like, he couldn't have been no older than 40, and it threw me for a loop. How could a man feel that way and then look back on his past and realize, number one, that you left a lot on the table. You left a Hall of Fame career on the table just because you was ready to settle. Now you're telling me that this is a good reason for you to settle, because even just that little bit is enough to say, hey, this is my life accomplishment. I done did something.
No vision.
So, you know, that's why some people dwell in the past, because they cannot surpass the real things they did in high school or some of the imaginary things. But like I said, I hear so many people make up lies about what they did in the past. I'm like, well, wait a minute, where'd that come from? You ain't just living in, you know, your glory day. You living in some imagination.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's right. That's right. Toya with the T, let me ask you this. A lot of times when a person says how great they was in high school and they did so many great things, I was the best, blah, blah, blah. Maybe that's true. But maybe it's because you had a coach or somebody in your corner that pushed you. And when that person, when you get out of school and you didn't have that person to push you, you step back on your lawns because you didn't have that motivation. Because sometimes a coach will push you to the point. A good coach gonna pull the best out of you. Whatever the situation, he or she is gonna pull it's gonna pull the best out you.
Can't nobody make you do nothing. No, can't nobody make you do nothing. They can do all they want to. If you don't activate it inside yourself, you gotta have somebody that motivates you to want to do it.
Yeah, and that's what a coach does.
To believe in you. You know what I'm saying? But it's not gonna make you, because if you want to be stubborn and an idiot, there's a lot of people I know that was in school that were greater than some of the people that was on the team, but they were so deceived. The coach couldn't get them to go because they were so bound and knew they were good, but it was so bound they could not be a part of that team or game due to whatever. You know what I'm saying? And it's not about motivation. You got to be willing to go ahead and put that out yourself. That's what I'm saying. Sorry. So sorry you don't even believe in yourself. You need somebody else. You need somebody else to help you believe in you. You the best. Honey, listen, if you don't get up out of here talking to me about 17 years ago, I'm talking about now. I'm talking about today. Let's move forward. I used to be good too. I used to run track. Didn't want to do it. Rap, all that. That's in the past, man. We got to move forward. I got to find out what I can do today. It's over. I didn't take that path. I didn't utilize it to my best potential. So I don't have the following I should have had if I would have been a rapper. I'm talking about now. So now moving forward. Yeah, go ahead.
So with and I'm being funny here, But for you, you say you used to be a track, you used to run track and stuff like that. So I really believe you might have gave Donald a run for his money, huh?
Yeah, because I'm from Brooklyn. I had to know how to get away.
And I don't doubt nothing she said.
I had to jump over fences, climb up trees.
Thank you.
Play football. You keep in mind, my father raised me. I was shadow boxing and running and doing chin-ups at 6.
Wow.
So by 11, I was fast. I had asthma. My father was like, "No, you don't go around here and run around the block." You feel me?
Yeah.
So by the time I got 11, I was a monster. I just had to make a conscious decision. Okay, wait a minute. You're a girl. You want to have kids. Get your butt out of here with all these boys. You know what I'm saying? But
That's
look,
how you
at
get
the end
kids.
of the day, I'm 43. Do you know who's in the best shape out of all them guys back then?
Wow.
But I've been consistent. I never gave up. I never stopped. I always wanted to be fine. I always wanted to be in good shape. I kept that. I didn't stop after high school. I didn't stop because I got a boyfriend. I didn't stop because I was pregnant and didn't have a baby. You know what I'm saying? I didn't stop because of anything. I kept on. I wanted to stay fine. I wanted to be fine. I wanted to be fit. I wanted to be old and still be good, still squat and fold my legs and stuff like that. So I don't talk about the past. Listen, I learned how to stop talking about the past when I started thinking about the measles blanket babies that came over here. See, some past I don't want to deal with because it angers me. It makes me mad.
Exactly.
Our past, the Black people, it makes me mad and angers me. So I don't even want to talk about it. Let's talk about how we can move forward. And if anything creep up negatively about the past, it angers me. I don't know about everybody else. But certain things you just need to leave alone, when you're moving forward. You know what I'm saying? When the Lord changed everything old, left that back there. Okay, you know about it. The Lord don't even remember about it no more. What we talking about is still tomorrow. You left your leg yesterday. That leg been gone 17 years ago. You still walking around here not trying to walk, talking about what happened to your leg in 1973 or whatever. Like, come on, we got it. At some point, we got to get up and we got to move forward and we got to create new futures and new possibilities.
That's right.
And it can't identify with the past. Yeah. I'm 43. I already know what the past was. I don't need to go back there no more. I don't want to remember. Pick your head up, look forward, and let's figure how we gonna move forward and not do the same thing. But all that looking back, man, it can be very detrimental for some people because there's some things that's really hard to let go of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I told you, God had to ask me, Toya, you got molested when you was 9. How old are you? 43. You still walk around bothered? I'm not trying to take anything from it, baby girl. You was 9. You how old? 43. Yeah. Get up and get over it.
Wow. We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
It's Badger.
Hey, Badger, how you doing?
Pretty good. I was enjoying the conversation.
Yes, sir.
She brought up a lot of amazing points.
And what we're talking about today is what are you looking back for? And she was actually telling this, and I love the transparency. Everybody's being so transparent today, man. And they're telling their story. So I love that because we're helping somebody. But what are we looking back for? Why do we hold on to something that happened when maybe we was a teenager or younger, and now we're 30, 40, 50 years old, and we're still living in that spot? What are we looking back for?
If you don't mind me sharing some of my teachings.
No, not at all. Go ahead.
All right. For those of y'all that don't know, I'm Native American. When people are holding on to the past, it's usually things that are trauma related that they just can't let go. And it isn't until we learn the lessons from those things that we can, most of the time, move forward even better. But the longer you hold on to it, it ends up producing fear and hate. Fear and hate is the opposite of what we call it creation. That's the same thing. Love. Because if we don't let love in our lives, we're not able to let go of the past, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And it's learning to accept who we are in creation and how we affect those that are around us. If we live in hate, we spread it to everyone around us. So it's individual choices of learning how not to be from the past, to live in the now, preparing for the future. Because no one can tell what the future is. The future is always changing.
It is. It is.
Like for me, I could be one of those other angry people that, you know, my people were slaughtered and massacred and da da da. No, that was what, over 100 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason for it. I want to know what I can do now to promote a more positive future.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it's not the easiest thing in the world to do.
No.
And it takes practice every day. When we like to say, folks, being transparent, because that's just what it is. It don't make no sense for me to lie to you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's people think, you know, you got so much courage. Well, I have no other choice. Well, I do have another choice, but I can't do that because I fight because that's what I fight because that's what I mean, that's what I do. That's what I do. But to this day, I'm still like Toya. I still believe that my ladder will be greater.
Exactly.
So I'm still looking forward to that. You know, I would say that, you know, a lot of things have happened in my life. But I've noticed that some of those things I don't remember. You know, I don't remember well.
Yeah.
And then I think to myself, were they even worth remembering? You know, if somebody crossed me or something like that, or anything of that nature.
Yeah.
I don't really want to entertain it. I had to separate myself from people who were constantly negative.
Exactly.
In the fight. Because, you know, you sit with some people, we black and we know about oppression. But you saying stuff to me that don't make sense.
Yeah.
And a lot of these things is what keep you in this state that you're in. I'm not a citizen. Well, I am.
Yeah.
I mean, it says, here's the proof.
Exactly.
But you over here talking about you not. Or is it just you don't want to be? Do you not want to be a citizen? Do you not want to be free? You know, people come, we're not free. No, you're not free.
Yeah.
I am free indeed.
Yeah, come on.
You're not free. I don't know why you don't want to be free, but guess what? I'm going to let you lay there.
And see, one of the issues that we got another call, we're going to that call as well, but one of the issues, Leonard, is sometimes people don't know what freedom looks like, feels like, smells like, or what is it?
Well, yes, they do. But they think I'm going to be real direct. I'm going to be real in your face. I'm going to hit you in your face.
Come on.
You know what it looked like for white folks. Why you don't know what it looked like for yourself? Think about it. Okay. Think about it. You wake up every day. And to me, it's disrespectful.
Yeah.
It's disrespectful to the ancestors. Because if you heard them, they would tell you the truth. But so many people put their stuff on top of the truth. And that's what they go with. And that's why they're a little shaky.
A little shaky.
They're a little shaky. That's why when you meet them, you don't, you know.
And I'm gonna tell y'all something. I know a lot of y'all can see Leonard ain't got his cool Modis on today now.
You know, because like I said before, Leonard's eyes ain't as good as they used to be.
He got the Modis.
That's the reality of the situation. I can act like I can see, but you mess around and I don't have these glasses or something on, I'm gonna tear some cars up.
Exactly. On the way.
You know,
they got in my way.
You know, like that. You know how we do something. If you got a wife, you definitely know. Did you hear what I said? You know how your wife, she said, you know, I don't think you hear so well anymore.
Come on, you know, look, your heroes need some repair.
You know, and you be like, ain't nothing wrong with my hair.
Exactly. I heard you.
Yeah, you know, you be ignoring it. You know.
Boy, look at and don't say I heard you.
Who?
Boy, look here. You can open the can of worms for you.
I keep going.
You heard me.
Go to the eye doctor. And he'll ask you, do you have trouble seeing when you look now? No. Well, we need to move you into something else. What they call them now, transition.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but my prescription been the same forever as long as I can remember.
Exactly.
But he said eventually.
There's gonna come a time.
And do you know within 6 months or so, eyes healthy and everything with the little machine. But you notice little differences. You know what? I got to look at it a little.
wait a minute. This look closer to what it was last time.
Bishop, it's crazy.
Exactly. Bishop, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Man, I'm blessed. Good morning.
Good morning, Bishop.
Hey, look here. I gotta ask you the question. What are we looking back for? What are we looking back for? And I made a reference earlier. If you wait a bit, you're gonna make it. Bishop, let me ask you this. Bishop, what's your favorite kind of cereal?
What's my favorite kind of cereal?
Yes, sir.
Captain Crunch.
Okay, you got a bowl of Captain Crunch, a big bowl of Captain Crunch. You go and you get your milk, and you put your milk, you put your milk on the table, and you pour the cereal in the bowl. You got everything ready, and as you turn around, your arm hit the milk and knock the milk over and spill it on the table. Now, what you gonna do? You're gonna sit there and watch the milk as it spill across the table and then fall to the floor, and now you got two messes. That's the word in the messes. Or are you going to clean that milk up? What you gonna
clean it up and give me another bowl?
You gotta go to the store and get you some more milk though. Y'all them milk gone.
See, now you didn't that was not part of the equation on the first thing. You can't throw that in there.
Mm-hmm.
That has to be stated in the first part of, hey, ain't no more milk. Well, at that moment, then, of course, I'm going to clean the mess up. Mm-hmm. I just won't eat no Captain Crunch at that moment.
There you go.
Because I ain't going to rush to the stove and get no milk, just come back and get a bowl of Captain Crunch. I got a refrigerator full of stuff.
Exactly.
So I just, my option may be disappointed because that's happening. And maybe upset myself because of the carelessness of my actions by knocking it over. But now it's time to move on. I can't hold on to that. I don't. Exactly. I listened to Troy, and Troy was talking real good. And I listened to the brother that called in a few minutes ago, that's Native American, can't think of his name. And then I listened to Leonard. And very key points, very key words that were said as relates letting go of what was. Paul the Apostle said, I'm forgetting those things which are behind. I'm referring to those things which are before. And then I'm pressing toward the mark. You cannot press toward the mark when you just standing still.
Yeah.
Or when you just keep stacking up and looking back. That's why that mirror in that car was called a rear view mirror.
Come on.
And I mean, the further away you get from where you were, next thing you know, it's completely obscure. It's just gone. There's no longer in the vision. And there are things in our life that yes, even today we may reflect on them, but we don't let them keep us in bondage or keep us bound. We talk about the Bible all the time. We talk about Jesus Christ being crucified over 2,000 years ago. Well, he ain't been crucified no more. But we still talk about the event that took place over 2,000 years ago. Not looking back at it to the extent of saying something bad happened to a good man. We're looking back at it as a part of what he did, his sacrifice for us. We oftentimes refer to Dr. Martin Luther King, and they showed everyone his birthdays how he was up on the Lorraine balcony in Lorraine Motel. And how next thing you know, they pointing down at him and pointing out where the shot came from, where the thing came from. This is a part of our past. This is a part of history. We don't forget history. We move on. But what happened is still embedded in our mind. And we should not allow that to imprison us. Yeah. We should move on for better and greater. And that's the way I look at it in totality. Yes, this happened. Yes, they said this about me. Well, that happened. Yeah, it did. Now, what can I do to make sure it never happens again?
Exactly.
So to think about the past is okay, but don't live in the past, because that's not okay.
There you go. Good deal.
Can I share something serious?
Say it again.
Can I share something serious?
Absolutely.
So 5 years ago, I was always known for, I don't know another phrase, but a lot of you guys probably get this, retard strength. I'm autistic. So I was always really strong. 5 years ago, my spine gave out on me. Found out I was born with spina bifida, my L5s in two separate pieces, and it developed two different kinds of arthritis, spinal stenosis, and scoliosis. That was a really hard lesson for me because all I knew was my strength. But I learned to move forward and use the wisdom and knowledge that I've gathered over the years through research of spirituality and different things like that, and use it as a way of moving forward, because our physical strength isn't everything, and it doesn't make you who you are. What makes you who you are is what's on the inside.
Come on. Yes.
That's right.
That's right. That's good. That's good, brother. That's good. And see, that's the thing right there. A lot of times people want to look at the surface and don't want to go inside and see what's inside the house, if you will. Mm-hmm. We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Kay. Good morning, Kansas City, Missouri.
Good morning, Kay. How you doing?
From Missouri.
Blessed.
There you go. There you go. Kay, what we're talking about this morning, I'm glad you called it. Definitely always, it's always an honor to have you with us. We're talking about what are you looking back for? What are you looking back for? And a lot of times people get caught up. And I said earlier, something that happened in a teen or preteen. And now the person's in their 30s, 40s, or 50s, and they're still holding on to what happened back there at that time. They can't seem to move past it. But what are we looking back for?
That's really strange that I would get on here and we're talking about that, because I have a child that does that, and I have to tell him all the time that that's the last thing you want to do is look back.
Yeah.
But when you look back, I said it should improve your forward.
Come on.
You don't look back. You don't just look back to be looking back. You look back so that you can improve what you're doing now. If you're going to look back, you look back where you've been to where you're going and where you at. But if you look back to compare it to want to live the same thing that you lived back then it's horrible. It's terrible. My mama used to say, if you want to ever smell something that stinks, take a mess in it and then step backwards, because then you're stepping in your own mess and it stinks. So she said, don't look back. And so I don't look back. And when I do look back, I look back and say, back then, I used to be like this. I don't do that no more, or I don't say that no more, or something like that. But to look back, I don't look back, especially at nothing bad that happened in my life, because that's what I prayed about. So I don't want to remember it. And I pray that don't nobody do anything to bring my past back. Because if I wanted to think about the past, I know how to go back. I don't like the past. The past is to strengthen us, not to weaken us.
Exactly.
And it weakens a lot of people.
Now, Donna Tucson, I bet you ain't never heard that one before. She talking about take a mess and step back in it. See, you come up with them sayings, Donna. I bet you ain't never heard that one before. To how you, boy, she threw one on you that time. That
I'm gonna write it down. I'm gonna write it down. I bet you that.
Well, look,
yes, sir. You know what I thought about?
What's that?
You know, because I'm a say, because I used to be pretty athletic. And, you know, probably all of us used to be pretty athletic.
Yeah.
So we had this kind of old school. We gonna go to the basketball court and we gonna shoot some ball. So you know, I'm bouncing the ball, and you know, now we're almost you know we had our almost senior citizen days now. So I go up to the goal, and boy, it was looking pretty, boy, and I thought about that finger roll that I had. And I dropped that ball and I finger rolled that thing and it dropped right in front of my feet.
Come on. What? What? Wait a minute now. That's not the pitch I was looking for, Donna. That's not the pitch I was looking for, brother. I thought you were gonna go up there and say, Lord, my Jesus. Leonard, talk to you, brother, man. Leonard.
But you see, what I will say about that is sometimes we can use things that we experienced in the past for the better as an analogy. Because I used to be able to jump off the house and flip. But I better not try that. I can't even get on top of the house with a ladder now.
Exactly. Lord, my Jesus.
Be on his head.
Lord.
I'm just
What you say, Leonard?
You mess around there and land on your head and kill yourself.
What happened to Tucson? Oh, he tried to jump off the house and flip.
It's so funny, Tucson. Like you say, we used to do all this, that, and the other. I'm not a big fan of riding at amusement parks. I just don't care for it.
Man, I love it.
And the older I got, I said, why would I turn all this upside down?
Yeah.
Why? On purpose. Why would I do that? You know? And it become what used to be fun.
Yeah. Ain't fun no more.
It just ain't fun no more.
I'm gonna tell you something. I ate a Hershey candy bar yesterday. with almonds in it. I used to love them things, man. But I'm gonna tell you something. It was just so sweet to me now. I'm like, man, they put extra sugar in this one.
You remember how dangerous life? You remember how dangerous?
That's a little extra plastic.
Hey, Tucson. You remember how dangerous you used to live?
Mm-hmm.
Nah, fool around and eat a donut in the morning.
Oh Lord Jesus!
I used to could wake up and drink a pint of Jack Daniels. Let me
what the fuck is my front of my eyes?
Now a donut will take me out.
Exactly. Rico,
I'll tell y'all the worst reality check I ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
When you hear old tough guys feel like they still tough because of what they used to do back in the day, especially bullies. And they feel like they still got them. They still talking about the young boys. And then all of a sudden somebody decides to pull out that camera and show this old man with his pants down. Ain't nothing worse than that. You know what I mean, man? You know, you really true. I really thought about it. When you look back in the past like that, you're supposed to be looking as a reference to show what got you to where you are now. So it's supposed to be a progress in that.
Yeah.
You know, then if you go back and reflect, you say, well, I was here, but look where I am now. But some people didn't get no farther than that. Like you said, they needed that coach. Yeah. They needed that teacher. They didn't know they didn't have the right guidance to do it themselves for whatever reason. But you know, people get caught in those glory days and they feel like they still got it. And I'll never forget my stepdaddy, man, he was pretty good shape. And I was in good shape too. But when I got to a certain age, I didn't stay in shape. I didn't keep shooting ball. You know what I mean? When everybody else was still shooting ball, I was like, man, I ain't got time for that. I'm gonna go run these girls.
Yeah.
So I was doing a whole bunch of different stuff. So I pulled up in front of my mom's house one day and my stepdad was out there and he was like, son, you look like you're getting lazy. And I was talking to my little brother. My little brother was a football star then, and I'm out there just giving him all kind of pointers. Yeah, son, you need to get back out there and start doing this and that. I still got it. He said, son, you probably could have beat me. I still got it. So he challenged me to a race in his work booth.
Good
so
Lord.
I'm about 20 years old. I'm like, I'm gonna whoop this old man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start with him. I still got it. Man, we took off running down that street, and my legs got to moving too fast, and my muscles was used to it, and I failed.
Oh no, you didn't.
My legs got away from under me, man. I just went to leaning forward. I was like, oh, I can't stop.
Concrete.
Then he smoked me on top of it. I was trying to catch him. I was like, oh, he's leaving me. And so I thought I was going faster, but my legs ran off from up under me. I just didn't have it no more. So that was my first incident. Boy, you better leave that stuff in the glory that you were fast back then.
Yeah.
You didn't keep doing what you were supposed to do.
Exactly.
So you have to stay on top of the process. It's supposed to be about progress and growth. You know, and a lot of people don't realize that. So that's the reason why they do look back so much, because they didn't grow past that. Those were their proudest and best days.
Exactly.
And sometimes it's the worst. You know, the brother that's a Native American, you know, man, he said something big, man, that trauma. We got to actually be mindful and consider. I ain't gonna even say consider it, just mindful and aware of the effect of trauma on the human brain.
Right. Absolutely.
What it does to the human psyche. You know, because without a healthy mind, the body ain't nothing.
And that's a big issue, because when you find out in counseling, things that you think may not have affected you may have, especially if you're a strong-willed person like myself.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been through a lot of crap, you know. I always thank God I'm here because of all the near-death experiences, the car accidents, never driving, you know, remembering trying to save other people who died.
Yeah.
Or, you know, if you think about what you look like and somebody show you a picture covered in blood, you know, that was me.
Wow.
You know, or simple like knowing. I remember one time I was just it's not rebellious. I was so crazy, man, you know, just laying in the middle of the street talking to don't convince a friend of mine to lay there in the middle of the road with me. If God was going to kill us, he'd do it right now.
Wow.
He'd send a car to just run us over and kill us. Let's see how long we can lay here. You know, just crazy. Weird, crazy, just challenging everything. Not remember fighting all the time to survive. And then you sit back and you was like, man, it seemed like a dream. That really happened. And why did I build up that mechanism like with Rico? Unlike Rico, is I knew where it was coming from because I'm a responder, right? So you have to do something to me to get that response. It won't just happen.
Yeah.
So I'm always looking at, okay, what happened to trigger this? What triggered this response? And it could be a combination of things. One, or fighting when you shouldn't have to fight. I shouldn't have to do what I do. But I have to because there's so much injustice. So that's why I do that. But as I think about it, 17, 18, even a little kid, I remember walking out of school in elementary because the teacher was going to paddle me for whatever reason. Not today.
Yeah.
Now, I don't mind taking paddle for what I did.
But not for what I didn't do.
But not for what I didn't do. So I was always like this. But I have to also learn that, one, to make sure I'm right. My dad told me two things before he died. Be better than him and be right.
Yeah.
That was his concern. Be better than me and be right.
Yeah.
Because if you're right, you can win the fight.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're right. It's hard to win if you're wrong. And one, no matter what he did, my father was the type of person that if he did not do a certain thing he said he was going to do, or he disappointed you, he'd leave a letter apologizing to you for what he did.
That's good.
Because he didn't want it on his conscience, and he didn't want it on your conscience. So, you have to answer. And something occurred to me about how a child must feel who have these, and I was just thinking of young parents in the community and things. That child whose father, I'm coming to see you, never show up.
Wow.
I'm coming at 3. Don't see him.
That reminded me of episode. I'm gonna see, can I play this thing before we get out of here? But right now, let me go to Bishop. Bishop, let me ask you a question. Bishop, you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Bishop, you was ex-military man, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Y'all used to run a lot, right?
Hated it.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Y'all used to run miles at a time, right?
Sure did.
Okay. Now, if I tell you that I should drop you off at a certain point, and I say, Bishop, you run straight down the road and don't turn, just run straight down this road right here. 5 miles, I'll be sitting right there. You got to run now. 5 miles, I'll be sitting there with $1 million in this briefcase. Come get it. Can you run 5 miles? Run 5. I ain't talking about walking. I'm talking about, could you run 5 miles and get it?
When you talking about now?
Yeah.
Man, I can't watch. Man, 5. Almost boy.
$5 million, Bishop.
No.
$5 million. 5.
Well, $5 million. $5 million sounds real good, and I would love to get it, but I ain't gonna fool myself. I ain't gonna run to try to get $5 million and have a heart attack trying to get it. I ain't gonna. Yeah, I appreciate it, sir, but I ain't gonna run 5 miles.
Matter
You
of fact,
taught me some 30 years ago.
See, and that's where I wanted to go. Stay right there. Stay right there for a second. 30 years ago, but that's back. That's what are we looking back to? 30 years ago, it'll be easy for you.
If you too close to me with 5 million, talk about if I run 5. Don't turn your back.
Exactly.
Don't turn your back.
Exactly.
Yeah, hey, but I'm like Rico. I be like Rico. I start thinking, trying to relive my glory days. Next thing I know, my leg got out from under me.
I hate to laugh, but when you see somebody racing, this is a video that's on right now on social media where these 2 ladies are running, and the one lady don't blew the other lady out, but she can't for some reason stop. And she falls dead on her face, hard on the concrete.
Good Lord.
And you hear the guy with the camera say, "Oh no!" Because you wouldn't have and when they're talking about it, because her legs got up under her, I guess, and she hit that concrete so hard. It was like, but they was running fast. You remember street races?
Yeah.
I remember we used to run in the street with no shoes on.
Man, listen, Leonard. See this. Donna Tucson, this is my confession, brother. I'm gonna go ahead and tell it. I ain't never
skipped up.
Man, no, I'm gonna tell you what. I raised my daughter, my oldest daughter. I mean, when she came down here. This was a few years ago, and I ain't never told nobody this story. But we were talking about running, and I said, "Girl, you can't outrun me." You know, I used to race I used to race them. You know, I get out there and race them. We used to have a good time, run and stuff like that. Man, she said, "I can outrun you now, Dad." I said, "No, you can't." I'm scratching. I'm feeling myself. I'm scratching. No, I'm too old to be out there trying to run anybody. But this is my daughter. I'm gonna show her she can't outrun me. I'm scratching a little bit. I'm okay. You ready? My wife get down at the end, and she said, "Y'all run to my hands, and we're gonna see." I was, okay. Now, see, you a part of this whole thing, this whole conspiracy. I know what you're trying to do, but okay, I'm gonna win this race. Leonard, I got out there, man. They said, "Mark, oh yeah." I look at my daughter. Get set. I said, "I hope you ready. I hope you ready for this." Say, "Go." She took off, and I took off. I'll run everything I got, and I was wide open. Then I was wide. When I tell you, Bishop, I was wide open. I was wide open. Man, look, we was neck and neck for a long time. I said, "Man, this girl trying to beat me." We were neck and neck, right? And so I inched in front of a little bit, just a little bit, right? And I won the race. I won. Clap your hands. Thank you. I appreciate it. But something happened in the course. Of that race. Because I said I won, and I looked at my wife. I said, "Who won?" She said, She said, "Yeah." She didn't want to say it, but she said, "Yeah, you won." And my daughter asked me a question. She said, "Let's run again." Man, I pulled my hamstring. Everything was hurt. But I ain't want to tell her that. I ain't want to tell her that. No. But man, I couldn't look here. Man, I could barely walk. Come on, run another race. Nah, I won now. I had to play that card, Leonard. I won now. I ain't got to race no more. A couple of years. That's how long it's gonna take me to recover. A couple of years. Boy, listen.
But I'm having to do a lot of readjustment, man, because this is aging. No one can stop aging. We spend a lot of money on it. You can really take care of your body for a long time, like the best athletes who are doing it naturally.
Yeah.
They're just taking care of their bodies. They eat right. They have the best diets and all these things. But, as you get older, things change. The Bible tells you things are going to change.
Absolutely.
There ain't nothing you going to do to stop age from creeping up on you.
It's
so
coming.
You have to readjust. And that's like when stuff happened. Remember we were talking about before? Yeah, here's my plan A.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
It's good to have a plan B.
Exactly.
Because you never know what could happen. And, it could just change all of a sudden. And you'd be like, you know what? Let's go to plan B.
Yeah.
Because plan A, like say, for instance, if you go on one way, in Atlanta, all this traffic.
Yes, sir.
You're looking for another way to go.
You better.
And that's how we have to look at it. You may have encountered some things that cause you a little setback. But keep going.
Exactly.
Keep going. Like I told my son, you can run away from formal education if you want. But at some point, you want to sit down and learn something.
Exactly.
Like, going to this school is no harder than going to this school, especially if you apply yourself. But, school, college ain't for me. Well, what is for you, first of all? What's for you? Or do you just not want to discipline yourself?
Don't want to do nothing.
And that's, I think, a lot of the problem is people have a problem with discipline. It takes discipline not to eat bad food.
Yeah.
Like we talked about, that's one thing I'm very, a lot of things that I'm tied into doing now are moving towards.
Hey, could you send me that information? Because there's more than one part number in these.
Hey, no.
I'll send it to you, Don.
We'll send it to you, Donna. Let me see your line.
It's food security is very important to me. And so a lot of things I'm working on now is to be able to grow my own food and to learn these things. And I don't have the land yet. But it's not going to stop me from thinking about what I want to grow and how I want to grow it and things of that nature. So I'm not going to get caught up in even looking at what's now. I want to look forward even to that. Okay, I'm going to put all my efforts into securing land. Not talking about how they stole land from black people.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody going to do nothing. They don't do this for us. We ain't going to.
Get off
Come
that.
on, man.
Get off that. Get off.
But where's your plan at to do it? Where's your plan at to do it? So you idolize the Tulsa people. Guess what? Guess what was out there when they went out there? Nothing.
Opportunity.
They had to build it.
Yeah, opportunity. Yep.
Themselves. Nobody around them wanted to help them. So they built it themselves, and I think that's what we have to do. You know, it's not about what we gonna do together, but if you doing a little bit and I'm doing a little bit, then we put those things together, and that's how we get forward. But I don't been to meetings, and I realize I am sitting around a bunch of lunatics. Excuse me. I have to leave.
Exactly.
I can't even sit through the whole meeting.
Myself. Exactly. I'm excusing myself.
I gotta excuse myself.
Let's go to Badger. Badger, you still with us? Badger, you there? Badger? Oh, okay. Badger said, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, good deal. Let's go to Kay. Kay, what's on your heart, sister? Troy, you come to you next.
I'm just listening to y'all, and I agree with the brother. I done been in a meeting before, and I'm just sitting here. What am I doing in this meeting? And ain't nobody going forward. Then I find out they've been having these meetings for years before I even started coming.
Good Lord.
And they still ain't got nowhere. I start talking to God, what you got me here for? What you want me to do? Like, it's gotta be a reason.
Yeah.
And I have stuck in there for the good for the most of it. I have one group I actually stuck in. Then I have an all school that I'm over, and this is our 8th year having a Christmas giveaway. And you wouldn't believe the committee has really just slimmed down because the president stepped down and I stepped up, and it was like when I stepped up, all the stealing stopped. I got rid of everybody that was stealing.
There you go.
We ain't gonna come to the cookout. I don't care. God will send me some more people. Y'all ain't honest enough to be on no committee with me.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm taking this somewhere, and I have took it somewhere. I thank God. God has used me to take it somewhere. And this will be my 8th year having a cookout, and I'm just thankful. I'm thankful.
Praise God.
I thank him for the guidance, and just, he did it for me. But it started out horrible. The worst meeting ever.
And thank God for them people like her that they still doing it.
Yeah.
Shout out. Let's give a praise to God for our brother James Jones, who is doing better from SUT, Simply United Together. I know this brother from, I don't know a more giving brother than that.
Yeah.
I just don't. I mean, and he gives at such a level that I had never seen before. And it's not that he's a rich man.
Yeah.
But his networking and his connections and building his group and his organization. And they go all over the United States. They drive up sometimes with semi-truckloads of things in communities and stuff like that. But it's because of that work that he's doing. But even with all the great work, he still came down with COVID. And he broadcast from the hospital. He even sent an X-ray of his lungs. Pray for this.
Yeah.
And it's good to see the brother, growing stronger every day.
There you go.
So it's good to see him. And then we also want to pray for those families who have lost people. Another elder has passed that I grew up with that my mother used to take care of. Because trust me, folks, things don't stop just because you get mad. Things don't stop just because something happened to you.
Yeah.
I have to tell people, like, now have had to take a lot of steps back because I used to be out a lot all the time. But when situations change, you have to adapt. You have to be able to adapt to changes. Don't stop, just adapt. Change how you do what you do. To make moves.
The brother that got sick, not to cut you off, but anybody that's dealing with this COVID, I'm gonna tell y'all, it's a tea out. It's some tea out called. It's by Sleepy Time. They have a sinus respiratory tea, and they have an immune system tea, and then they have a green tea with all this bright stuff in it. But the most important thing on that box of tea, it tells you on that box of tea that it's better to be healed by nature than physicians.
Yes.
I tell y'all, my daughters, I have 3 daughters that caught COVID, and all I gave them was tea. I put a pot of water. I went in my daughter's house and I prayed over myself before I did it. And she got 3 kids, so I don't want I couldn't handle it. And I know what COVID could do to a person.
Yeah.
So I just went over there and I steamed her house up for her. I put her some food on and fixed it with some honey and lemon and garlic, some rice, and she ate it. When I got there, she couldn't smell or taste. God is good.
Yes.
Because by the time I left, she could taste, she could taste, she could smell, and she was healed off of just nature. I prayed about it, and I went and got her that tea, and then I went and gave it to all of my children. All 3 of my daughter's household caught COVID.
Wow.
One has 6 children, and the other 2 have 3. When I tell you God is good, and all of them been healed by just drinking that tea, they passed that method on to their friends and healed their friends as well. And I told them, don't take the medicine. The medicine they gave my daughter, the first medicine, was making her stomach hurt. What was they telling us? People was coming to the hospital complaining of stomach aches because y'all giving them that medicine. I said, don't take it. Then they gave her another one and it said something was going to rupture. And she was going to have an external bleeding. I said, don't take it. And I hit the door and I was there. And she didn't take it. And I said, give it back to them when you go test. And you test negative this time. I have a cousin in Dallas tested 4 times negative. She never could get rid of it. I told her, try this. God is good. She tried it and she thanked me every day on Instagram and Messenger. Oh, thank you, Kay. Oh, thank you, cousin. I say, thank God sent me to you. Because I had no idea you was testing positive 4 times, like literally 4 times. She said my 5th time was negative. I said, what did that box tell you? To be healed by nature, then physician.
Now, what kind of tea? What's the name of that tea?
It's called Sleepy Time. It's a sinus relief, a sinus respiratory tea. And then they have an immune system tea.
Okay.
And it's really good.
Okay. I'm about to
with
recommend
some
that.
coconut oil.
I have to recommend that to some too.
Clear lungs with that.
What'd you say, Badger?
Go to the farmer's market.
I said I clear lungs.
Clear lungs. So y'all coming with all these recipes. See, I ain't know about all this stuff y'all talking about. See,
because really you have to think about it.
We need some classes on stuff like that.
Yeah, and like she said,
the comment I made on Twitch about learning from the ancestors.
Yeah,
the way they healed their sicknesses were from the planet.
It was, and they live longer.
Yeah, exactly.
And that is exactly why I'm trying to get into that as much as possible. Because when you have like, say, have all these issues, the older I get, little different issues. But you know what? That tolerance for the medicine, just like the lady said. I took medications now that just messed up my liver. Okay. So and this was when it was, when they first Ritalin. Remember when Ritalin first came out? Okay. Let me tell you something. Those are things that happen. And I'm so glad I know now. But dealing with those things, like she said, the stomach's hurting, your stomach rupturing, and things like this, it's because of that. That's why I have to seek out natural things.
Exactly.
Because I take a Tylenol, it just feel like aluminum is in. I feel like my insides feel like aluminum, balled up aluminum. Okay. Because one, I can take aspirin. And these things, so I have to come up with find natural ways, and that's one of the things we use a lot of teas. And things I want to get into, like growing the roots, not only for myself, but to teach other people this is what you use. Like, like you used to, because one, everything has a side effect. And if you have an impaired system already, it's not going to help. And you think about it, here you is sitting up on a respirator when all you needed was some vitamin D to begin with.
Exactly.
To build your own immune system. And so those are the types of things that we can learn from. How many people are your family members you gonna watch die of diabetes before you stop eating white sugar?
Come on now.
Right, because I love my raw sugar.
Exactly. Those are people used to laugh at me because they like, so let me get this right. You don't eat no beef. You don't eat no pork. You don't eat no chicken.
Negro, what you eat?
But when you learn that these things are causing you inflammation, and all these types of things, and you keep putting it in your mouth, you have to realize you're gonna bury yourself like that because simple thing, you won't change the food you eat. I know black folk get upset with you. You ever heard somebody say, "Well, I don't really like green stuff." What you mean you don't?
I like healthy.
You don't like green stuff?
Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Let me
no
go.
Hulk salad or collard greens? No, thank you.
Exactly. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
What?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Toya. Go ahead, Toya.
No, I was saying that's what they say. What healthy? I don't want nothing healthy.
Exactly. And it's crazy. Rico, what's on your heart? Bishop, coming to you next. Then I'm gonna hit Donald Toussaint.
Oh, what were you wanting to ask me, by the way?
Man, you looking?
He forgot.
I forgot.
He forgot.
It'll come back to me in a minute.
Oh,
Look at. I wasn't gonna say it like that. Huh?
Not for nothing. Listen, I know somebody who got off of 13 medications in 2 years by simply implementing what? Turmeric, ginger, cumin, drinking 4 bottles of water, stop eating the poison. You don't want to stop the poison. That's the problem.
Right.
You like your sodas. You like your steaks that aren't even real. You like the Cheetos that don't even burn.
Yes.
You like the McDonald's that you can sit out for 17 days at a time and it never disintegrates. We like this. We know it's killing us. They've been telling us for years it's killing us. We like it so much we give it to our kids. Now, this is what we need to think about. We know everybody is not going to do the right thing. My mother had a 6 bypass surgery 12 years ago. Do you know what those medicines are doing to her? But she will not listen to me. This lady got off of 13 medications by simply putting up a fight. Okay, inflammation, that's turmeric. Okay, the plaque that gets into your arteries from eating fried food, that's cumin and turmeric that help remove that plaque. Then you got your garlic that helps keep your immune system boosted. You got your ginger root that basically eats all that from the inside out, and most of you are not going to be able to eat a tiny little corner of a piece of ginger root because we're so filthy. Not to mention, every day, we'd be surprised. You'll feel better if you just drink 4 bottles of water like you're supposed to. We're walking around creating ourselves some of the worst habits. We take better care of our cars than we do of our own body. We wash our clothes more than we wash our insides. And the demise is going to be because of what we want and what we will not do. We don't want to stop the white sugar. You don't want to bake a potato for your baby when they're born. You want to give them the Chef Boyardee foolishness. You know what I'm saying? And these are the tricks of someone else that are killing us. That's what I said earlier. We don't want to go grow our own vegetables. They're replacing our seeds with hybrid seeds. Do we know that?
That's what we have to do. We got to learn from the past.
Exactly.
Once you see something is not well for you or not working for you, what are you going to do?
Let it go.
If like I said, for retrospection purposes, because you got to keep living. So if you see in the past what has happened to people, why are you not changing? Exactly. Or like, nothing's more upsetting, not to pick on nobody, but you see the mama and the 2 daughters and combined, they about 900 pounds. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Ooh. They look the same. And everybody just doing what they see everybody doing. They live together. So they got the same bad habits.
Yep.
I guarantee you all those people will die of the same thing.
Yep. Same cause.
Because think about it. We known for dying from diabetes.
But they say it's a curse.
And heart disease. No, it's a diet. Stop that foolishness. It's a diet.
That's right. It's the diet.
Yep.
We say a lot of stuff that don't make sense to satisfy, the bad stuff we don't done, to try to justify this and another. I mean, folks, they you keep eating 10 pieces of fried chicken.
Don't need nothing fried. Hold on. Let me go on my little rotation. I got Rico. What's on your heart, brother? Bishop, you next, then come to Donald. Rico, you there?
Rico on break. He on break. You might want to go back to Rico.
On break.
We did leave. We lost Rico. Had to get him back on here. Bishop, what's on your heart, brother?
I'm just listening to the conversation, man. It's so, good to take care of your body. And I hear that's one of the things I do. And I take a daily regimen of vitamins to make sure that whatever nutrients I'm lacking, I am resupplying my body with them. And most of them, I take that turmeric. These are good things. But just listening and enjoying the laughter, man, is laughter is good for the heart. And when I hear Leonard over there cracking up and Toya and everybody's laughing, it just makes you feel real good.
Yes.
So now we got something to laugh
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather laugh than cry after that.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think when we talk about that past thing, and the things that have changed now with this COVID and the mask wearing.
Now you don't mess up my rotation again. Now.
Oh, I thought you came to me.
No.
Oh, well, don't be looking over here, man.
Oh, don't look. Lord, okay, I look this way. Look. Donald Toussaint, what's on your heart, brother?
Here's my dad saying, never trust a cockeyed preacher. You never know where you're at.
Where in the world are we going now? Where in the world are we going now?
That's my main man Toussaint right there.
You're talking about medicine, man. You know what a good medicine is? Laughter.
Yes, sir.
It's a healer. I mean, sometimes I laugh to keep from crying.
Yeah, thank you.
Exactly.
I laugh at, just like I tried to do that finger roll. That was good. I had to laugh at myself and remind myself that I'm not as young as I feel, or not as, hey, can't do it no more. I can think it.
Yeah.
But I'll be like Bishop. Hey, if you told me that I had to run 5 miles for how many $1 million?
$5 million.
Yeah. $5 million.
Yeah, $1 million a mile.
Okay. So I'll need 24 hours to be able to accomplish that task.
Exactly. Like I said, and hey, Toussaint, I'm so dirty. If he got that 5 on him, he better not turn his back, because I sure can't.
Lord, see.
See, I'm gonna have to get him, Ray. Me needing the 5 ain't gonna change.
Exactly. Wow. Let's go to let me see let's go to Toya with a T. Toya with a T. What's on your heart? Toya? Did we lose Toya? She on break. Oh, okay. Toya with a T might be on break. Let's go back.
Yeah, I was on break. I'm on break. Okay. My bad. I'm sorry. It be long pauses. You know what I'm saying? So I be trying to chuck and jive in between comments. And I'm a little bit older. I can't run that fast from the kitchen to the bathroom. So I'm just saying.
Wow.
Hurt yourself.
Wow.
Y'all know, y'all already know I got to cook breakfast, put my eyebrows on, walk the dog,
Stop it.
Little husband. Y'all already know I got a lot going on.
Exactly.
But you gotta have the eyebrows on to walk the dog, Toya.
No, I don't. Sometimes they get left on the table until I get back. I'm just saying. That's why y'all know what I look like without my eyebrows on. That's why I ain't never scared. I hop on live anyway, because I don't want you to be deceived. This is all.
My goodness.
Lord.
I know I ain't got no sense now. But y'all getting me started early this morning.
Lord, my G. Let me go to Kay. Kay, what's on your heart?
I just want to tell the men on the line, and the women too, but look up the coconut oil, what it does for you and how it heals. I had a father-in-law, and he had some spots on his liver, and I was like, take this coconut oil 3 times a day. And he started taking. I said, don't tell the doctor, don't tell him, because they're going to be against it. But when they ask you that what you doing, we don't know, the spots are gone. I said, then you tell him you use coconut oil, and they can keep their medicine. And that's what he did. And when I tell y'all the doctor was outdone, but I could tell you my daddy-in-law is still walking around here and still doing whatever he want to do. And he might have a cane with him now, but he could still 2-step if that's what he want to do, because he didn't have to have no surgery for them to remove it or anything. It healed him. Like he took the coconut oil, and it's really great for men. I'm like, why do they always make stuff so great for men? I guess because y'all need the extra more, but it's really great for men. And just Google what it do for men, just men alone. But it heals from the inside to the outside. And I use coconut oil for everything, from the outside to the inside. And it's just awesome. So I just want to turn that on to y'all. Y'all look it up for yourself. So y'all want to say, they told us this.
Mm-hmm. Coconut oil. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, good stuff.
Badger,
and virgin olive oil too, y'all. Let me tell y'all something. I use virgin olive oil on my face, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is what you got to think about. If you know olives, right? Olives don't mold. You can leave them on the counter. They will not mold. They will not get back. They will shrink and produce oil. So for those of y'all who feel like, you may be aging or you don't want to age, stop using this poison on your skin. They're putting things in it that help cause us to do and be certain kind of ways because it's being added topically. So go get you some virgin olive oil, or like my sister said, coconut oil. Listen, ain't nothing better than to put coconut oil on the baby. And if the baby gets the coconut oil and eat it, they ain't gonna die. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
And folks used to couldn't believe it. People used to couldn't believe
you can put it on your hair. You can make candy with it. You can mix it with rosemary, and it's a really good hair.
We are getting.
I'm sorry, the person you were trying to reach has a voicemail.
But that's the thing. If you're gonna go back in the past, you don't want to go back in the past just to hurt yourself or for negative. Go back and learn something.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of my time, like on social media, just tapping into these people who explain roots and herbs and things like that to you and how to use them, because it's become more important to me to use them now. So if you can, like I tell people, it didn't happen all at once.
Exactly.
I started adding a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I remember when folks used to laugh at me because I was completely on smoked turkey so many years ago. But you know how you got them folks when you go into their house. Boy, if ain't no ham hocks and I don't eat all that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I can't, because I remember how bad I used to feel.
Yep. I can't do it.
Remember black people, because I can't testify to this about white folk because I ain't white. When you used to have a family get together and folks in there popping clothes open, some people wouldn't even leave the table before they took a nap. Because they shoveled so much food in their face.
Yep.
And now you sitting there swole, and you be looking at why she got that plate? She already 250.
You just ate 27 pounds of food.
Exactly.
And then you wondering why you hurt. But that used to be a good time. Remember? That used to be, and then put some liquor on it.
And then let me get me a plate to go. Let me get me a plate to go.
Come on. You're not supposed to eat a whole pound cake.
You get 12 whole pounds of food on it.
Right.
You eat 27 pounds today, 12 pounds of food tomorrow. Then you're going to eat 13 the day after that and wonder why you picked up 17 pounds.
And I remember I used to be so miserable.
It ain't no different for the other folks either. They all do the same thing.
We all do the same thing.
Exactly. But let me go to Badger for a second.
It ain't a color gender, because I have a very mixed family. We have a white family. I have a Colombian. I have a
that's good eating. That's good eating right there.
Nephews, and they all do the same.
Exactly.
It ain't no different.
Badger,
they don't pump red blood.
Exactly. Badger, let me ask you this question: what are some of the things we talked about? A lot of different things. We talked about the sleeping time. We talked about the clear. I know you said something about the clear lungs. But what are some of the other things that you know of that would cause a health benefit?
Oh man, that's a list. The problem I run into is the elders that taught me are very superstitious of passing that knowledge on.
Yes.
Because unfortunately, some of the knowledge that was passed on was taken up by pharmaceuticals to earn a ton of money. But like white willow bark was used for headaches and migraines and stuff. Pine tar can help with toothaches. Burdock root is a blood cleanser.
That's what I love. Burdock root.
There's sassafras. There's polk salad's good. But you gotta make sure you cook it right because you don't want to get poisoned.
I heard about that in the South, polk salad. Yeah.
I heard somebody say something about it.
That's grass weeds.
Oh, that's grass?
That's weeds, certain weeds.
See, I don't know about all this stuff. See,
you get it out in your yard.
Well, like for me, I smoke cigarettes for anxiety because there's no man-made medicine that can help me. However, because I know what it can do to my lungs, I take herbs to help counteract the buildup in my lungs because I'm taking responsibility for my smoking.
Mm-hmm.
It's nobody else's fault if I get sick except for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
And until I get strong enough or get to a place where, you know, I don't rely on them,
mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say I'm stuck, but I'm not ignorant either.
Yeah. Yeah.
Try some baking soda and lemon juice, and you won't smoke a cigarette till a couple hours afterwards.
Does that help with anxiety?
Well, your anxiety is not going to help. For me, my anxiety helps with exercise and breathing exercises. But as far as curing that taste where you won't want a cigarette, just add a teaspoon of lemon juice and baking soda and go to smoke a cigarette. You're going to be like, oh, no, I can't do that.
Oh, yeah, that makes it taste disgusting.
Wow. See,
I'm autistic with brain trauma. So I struggle really bad with being able to word things, which makes my anxiety go through the roof.
Oh, yeah.
And having smoking and having something I break almost everything I get in my hands, even stone. I end up just breaking them or snapping them. But I don't do it with cigarettes, which makes no sense.
So look, baby, you know what you can use for your brain? Eat you some walnuts. There's some nuts the walnuts look just like the brain for a reason. Get you some walnuts and some Brazil nuts. It can help calm you down. It's like Prozac. 2 Brazil nuts
I'll try that.
and a handful of walnuts. Yeah, it should help your anxiety just like Prozac.
See?
Okay, I'll definitely give that a shot. I'm always down to learn new things.
I'm trying to encourage my wife now because she's always been into reading casually and things and learning all those things because of lupus and things like that, that I want her to go and get that certification.
Yeah.
So when we do grow these herbs and things, so she could teach other people how to use them. Because, you know,
it's dangerous to do that because even in this day and age, it's considered witchcraft and
we will that's what we will be private.
It's alchemy. It's science.
Yes, you're exactly right.
You have to word it right. I think you can use treatment. You can't use cure, and you can't use another word. But it's like you have to set it up as a treatment plan or another word. Y'all see it on the diet places all the time. I can't think of the word.
Like a supplement?
I know what you're talking about.
Like supplement?
Like
Okay.
Yeah.
And the other thing is,
dietary supplement. They don't say like weight loss or cure. You know what I'm saying? They just don't use those words. You got to change the wording.
Okay. Bishop, what's on your heart, brother?
Another thing people don't take into consideration is genetics.
Yes.
What works for one person's genetics might not work for the other.
Good deal. Hold on, everybody.
Fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, hold on, Badger. Let me pull Bishop into the conversation. Bishop, what's on your heart?
I'm just listening to all this health advice.
Oh, you writing it down? You writing it down? Because we're gonna send you a bill, brother. We're gonna send you a bill.
Well, you know, I tell you what, I want them to send that bill to what's that address over there on Senate Conway? I know it is the State Farm building. I can't think of the address.
Lord, my Jesus, boy, gonna want people to send me your bill. Ain't that something?
Hey, you know what you say? You say you're my brother?
Yes, sir.
Take care of that for me.
And I'm gonna keep making sure you pay your own bills.
But you know what? I want to challenge Donald to a race.
Boy, I want to watch.
You gonna win.
I'm gonna video that.
I want to watch.
And I'm gonna put it on pay-per-view. I'm gonna put that on pay-per-view. Exactly.
No.
Absolutely.
But let me finish. I want to race Donald from the kitchen to the dining room table.
That'll lose then.
But we have to be cautious.
I'm gonna trip you up.
We have to be cautious because we dying too young.
Yeah. We are.
We start dying young again.
Right here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, apple cider vinegar.
Yeah.
I heard.
Yeah.
It is a cure for so much.
Yep.
It helps in so many different areas. That especially organic. Apple cider
vinegar. I should see the smile on my wife's face right now.
Yeah, a lot of people. A lot of people really believe in that. Go ahead, Toya.
They got something y'all called Dimetappist Earth. I don't know. Badger might have heard about this, but I remember.
I have a bag of it at the house.
There you go. That stuff right there, believe it or not, and the thought of it, you might be like, "Oh, I don't want that." But when I tell you that stuff right there is so powerful, and you can ingest it. If you don't know about Dimetappist Earth, if you ask the doctors, they're gonna hold their head down. It's like, "Oh, yeah, I know about that," but they can't talk about it out loud. But go research that. They got some at Walmart for like $8.99.
Inbox
on everything.
Inbox their name to me, Toya. Inbox their name to me because
I got you.
Yeah,
I got you.
Because he was
make
trying
sure
to
it's
spell
food
it.
grade.
Another one.
You got to make sure it's food grade.
Mm-hmm.
It's not food grade. So diatomaceous earth is actually ancient shells that were grounded up.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't get the food grade, it'll chop you up on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Sure will.
So definitely
I
get
don't
food grade.
I don't use that. You know what else is a good part? The guy that has anxiety, he should look up what he can naturally do, because vitamin B6 and B12 is really good for that. And there's some other things too. Just look it up. But the sea moss is another good product, and they it's coming back out more and more. They even got sea moss pills now, and it's another awesome natural product. As long as you're not allergic to seafood.
Mm-hmm.
You can also become a saint.
No, that's killing people, Donald. We don't want to do that. That's killing people.
Hey, Donald.
I have a book that I want to recommend some folks might read, and it's called The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz.
The 4 Agreements?
Uh-oh.
Yes, sir.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
He's going deep, y'all.
Well, so in Native culture, or at least in my tribe, one of the teaching, like most people call me Patrick, goes to my tenacity and me being an advocate, because I'll let people talk about me all day long, but if anyone talks about someone I care about or anything like that, I'll stand up for other people.
Mm-hmm.
I always struggle standing up for myself because I'm community minded. I'm not really good at being selfish and stuff. I really ain't.
Yeah.
And but my wife read that book and I read it, and there's a second part to that book afterwards. But it talks about looking for one's truth and letting things go, looking at the past, learning to let the past go, and learning to live in the now.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I'm bringing that up is because even talking about with the herbs and stuff, I am a firm believer that you can take all of these herbs that you want, but if you don't give thanks to God or creation or whatever you want to call the great being, it has no power.
Mm-hmm.
Because creation and God is what gives us power. It's what gives everything power. You got to learn to let go of ego.
Come on.
And that's part of Oprah's book club
I'm
as well.
sorry, I got up on a soapbox. I'm sorry, y'all.
But see, when I seen the cover,
that's good.
What the 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. When I seen the cover of it,
Ruiz, R-U-I-Z,
R-U-I-Z, right? When I looked at the cover of it, I remember that from Oprah because it was she did a show, I think, in this book. Is one of the books she had.
Wow.
And it was good because it talked about, just like he says, about those things that we do that limit ourselves. When you have all this other knowledge here, you got certain things that will tell you, that's witchcraft. Or that's this, that, and there'll be stuff that really help you. It's like how they demonize organics. And like when you learn to go to the doctor, I don't have a problem with doctors because I understand what doctors do. They practice their medicine. That's what they do. They practice their medicine. They can't give you advice on anything else but their medicine. They can't prescribe anything else but their medicine. And so they are with the pharmaceutical companies. But I have an African doctor, right?
Okay.
So my African doctor, not only is he an MD, but one, he would rather things be natural. He does not like to give a lot of medication. He gives, like, say, for instance, when he said, you know what, you may be borderline diabetes. And when we first talked about it, I said, I'll manage it. health-wise naturally.
Yeah.
And so you would go back and he would say, I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing that.
It's working. Yeah.
Because, he says, man, sometimes you come in here, you off the chain. Then other time, you're just fine. I can't figure it out. But I think it has something to do with your diet. Yeah. Because, I had to cut back because I'm not taking metformin, or if I don't want to get there. So I have to ward off these things by changing the diet. I don't drink very much soda at all anymore.
Yeah.
You got to get rid of all that Kool-Aid and things. Like right now, I'm committed to lemon water in the morning. Okay. So every morning I try to drink 2 or 3 bottles of lemon water in the morning. Because one, when you notice things start, first you may have a little episode here, then maybe 6 months you have another one. But what'll happen is if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, you start having that episode every 3 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before you know it, then it becomes a constant thing and it becomes chronic. So, and a lot of times, men don't like to go to the doctor. And so we have to understand that if you feel in a certain way,
come on.
And if you don't want to go to the doctor, at least try this.
Do something.
Do something. Just don't act like it's going to go away or don't pay attention to it.
Because it's not.
Because then you wind up with a bigger problem.
Exactly. Tucson, talk to me.
It's amazing how our conversations go. Yeah, I'm here.
Go ahead.
We started one way and we wind up here healthy.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of times, the reason why we're talking about some of these things is because of what we already done that affected us. I wish I wouldn't have ate some of this stuff.
Right.
You know what you might not be able to go anywhere, Bishop, but castor oil.
Oh yeah.
You knew you was going to a dose of it during the winter time. They come with that teaspoon, that tablespoon, and
I used to hate
hold your nose and stuff it down.
I used to hate it, bro. My grandma used to give me. I used to hate it.
Do they make 3-6 anymore?
Some places I think you can still get it, but I think you got to go to Old Country Store.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Old Country Store.
Man,
sometimes we go that black drought. Those types of things. But now there's so many other things out there now, like black seed oil. Yeah.
See, there's a lot of things now. Now, what are we looking back to? Let's get back to what are we looking back to? What are we looking back for? Are we looking back to the time? Are we looking back for the days when we had a 6-pack?
I don't think I ever had a 6-pack.
No, you got 2 kegs.
I think I ever had a 6-pack.
Bishop.
You got 2 kegs and a 40 online.
Exactly. and all us on layaway. Bishop, are you looking back at the time when you used to have a 6-pack?
Like it's hot.
Bishop, you remember the 6-pack?
Yes, sir. I remember. I still got it.
What was it in the refrigerator?
No, man, I got a 6-pack, bro. Oh. One of the things that attracted my wife to me was this nice 6-pack that I have. I just put a protective coating over it right now, so it's just covered up.
That's right, it's protected.
Yeah, I'm protected.
K, do you hear this? You hear this mess, right?
It's in a 6-pack in a suitcase.
Exactly.
And like you were talking about before, Raheem.
He said it's well taken care of. He's taking care of his 6-pack.
That's what
it's
it
is.
My wife knows it's still there. I don't want everybody trying to look at it. So I cover it up.
You don't want to be seduced.
Yeah.
Keep people focused on the word.
Right eyes on
But that is the key to things, though. And I've learned that health is so important. And if you're going forward, you be talking about money if you want to. I'm gonna don't be healthy.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't be healthy and think about how you're gonna spend. You're not gonna be able to even spend your money if you're not healthy.
Not at all.
One of my things is because I'm trying to go a little bit harder than I have before, and that is to make sure my health is prepared. Because when I think back And like I said, when I was doing undergrad work and all that, man, ain't no way in the world I could run across them the city like I was with that big heavy pack and things like that, like I used to do.
Exactly.
So you know, because I was a backpack, you know, boom, throw that pack on, put everything in it because you ain't going back to the house.
Yeah.
You're running back and forth, and man, let me tell you. Then you go to one with the wheels on it.
Oh Lord.
Okay. You know, it's hard to be present all the time when you're not healthy. And so those are the things that we have to really be focused on going forward. Health, health, health.
Yep.
Because of what we know now with all these pharmaceuticals in there. Think about how many people die of the same thing. It's because usually you all have the same habits, the same characteristics. Then Badger just mentioned you also have to think about genetics.
It's generational. It's generational.
Ham hocks ain't generational.
It's generational.
Chitlins ain't generational.
That's what it is. It's generational. We grandma died because it's a generational curse that's on us. And then man, come on, stop playing. Stop playing.
It's not a generational curse. But you know what?
Can I bring something up real quick?
Yeah, hold on, Badger. I'll come right back to you. Go ahead, and I'll come right back to you, Badger. Go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
I got a food for thought for y'all. Like, I read the Bible a lot. So if we go back on just the Bible alone on how they ate and what they ate and what we not supposed to eat, it's not so much of all of that. If you think about it, they didn't put all that seasoning, salt, and stuff on their food.
Right, exactly.
And like I had quit eating beef, but I started back eating beef. But I learned to put garlic and ginger on the beef because it helps me digest it. I don't eat none whatsoever. I even look at my ingredients in candy because I don't eat no pork. And I can instantly tell if I eat something with pork in it because I instantly get a headache or my stomach would instantly start hurting instantly. Yeah. So I don't eat pork and I try to stay away from pork. And it's not because of religion. It was more because when I went to the doctor, I had blood pressure and was stroked out. But as I read the words, and the word said don't eat it, I got even better with it. So it's how you eat it. And I don't put all that seasoning and stuff on my food. I learned to cook with coconut oil and baking soda. Baking soda give you a salty taste. So if you put a little baking soda in a pot of beans, it takes the gas out of it.
Yeah.
So you don't got to worry about having gas because I use baking soda. I just learned to use a whole lot of natural products and stuff when I cook. And I pretty much eat what I want to eat. It's just how you eat it. And I don't eat no pork.
Good deal.
And I try to use the air fryer and stay away from greasy food. But for the most of it, like the guy said, I pray over everything I do. I pray about everything I do before I read it. I pray. And I just thank God for him and his Holy Spirit.
Exactly.
He guides and direct my path.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the thing right there. You said something about that air fry. Man, I love that air fry. Badger, what's on your heart?
So talking about like the different styles of food and stuff like that, my wife and kids, and even myself to some degree, y'all know that yellow corn that everyone loves to eat.
Boy, you about to break my heart again.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
yes,
but
sir.
This isn't good news.
Yes, sir.
It's genetically modified.
Yes.
Modified, I'm sorry. And what me and my wife learned, because my wife and kids, if they eat it, they break out eczema, lose bladder control, you name it. And if they have too much, they can have a seizure. I can't pronounce the first word.
Yeah.
And what we found out is the way they genetically modified it is they put gluten in it to make it sweeter.
Good Lord.
And like here in Texas, where I live, if you have too much of the heirloom corn, like the native corn that was grown here for centuries, they can come in and cut it down because it's stronger than the GMO corn. It will change the genetic code in that yellow corn. And because of that, they don't want to lose any money, and they won't let you grow a big old thing of it.
Wow. What are they trying to hide?
And it got, what do you think?
Oh, they ain't hiding it no more. They telling you what it is now.
Yeah.
And I just was reading that yesterday.
Tobacco. Tobacco was used for a long time, for centuries, in what most people would recognize as a peace pipe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And in the native culture, that's not a peace pipe. It really isn't. It's a ceremonial thing where it's, oh, my elders are going to kill me, but I don't care. Where the pipe is considered the female energies of the universe, and the male is the male energy of the universe, of creation. And when you join them together and you smoke from it, you're offering prayers up and you're opening up your mind. Science is starting to find out that nicotine opens up the blood vessels. Is it good for your lungs, smoking it every day? Absolutely not. Does it help you open up your mind? I believe it does, because if it's opening up all your blood vessels and getting your brain pumping, it's got to be doing something.
And let me tell you,
and that's old knowledge that I don't want people to know.
Yeah.
And my sons both had issues with intermittent asthma. So of course we look for a natural remedy.
Yeah.
Guess what it was?
Tobacco.
We started rubbing them with tobacco oil.
Wow.
On their chest at night.
Mm.
And both of them grew out of the asthma.
Wow.
Even when my kids were born, I used to make their baby food because I could not understand, why am I going to give my kids this food out of this jar? You know, the milk wasn't working. So we had to, if they got milk, they only got goat milk.
Yeah.
But everything they ate, if they ate squash, it was because one, I had cooked the squash and pureed the squash. Okay. And I used to fix their own baby food for them. Because I did not want them to start off with all these powders and all these things. You know, I remember they give you tons of that Similac when you leave the hospital.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. I don't even think they encourage breastfeeding. I think they may be getting back to encouraging breastfeeding.
They need to.
Now. But these things were very important. Especially like when you're having premature babies and things like that, is that one, yes, we have great medicines for things that emergencies. But like this brother was just saying, excess is the problem.
Yeah.
Just like with any other medicine. If you take too much, it's not going to be good.
Yeah, exactly.
So one, tobacco you can use, but guess what? You start using it every day for purposes other than the normal purposes, it's going to cause an issue.
Yeah. Exactly.
Anything like that, you know, that's why we stress, you know, organics and things like that, because usually your body can clear things out. But do understand, allergies still play a part.
Yeah.
If you got allergies or anything, you should know that. My wife's health took a turn from, guess what? Something, quote, a natural mask. It was at a spa.
A spa?
Yes, it was a spa. It was a spa that was specified in Ayurvedic medicine. And by the time she got home, do you notice that your face is burnt? By the time she looked and noticed that her face had started blistering a little bit, she started having the webs and stuff on her body. Because you should have done an allergy test before. So you have to take precautions. People, you know who you are. You need to take these precautions.
Exactly.
You know you're sensitive. Food allergies and things like that. Brother just mentioned corn. I love corn. But now I'm getting to the point now where I may have to give up my corn.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Now I got to give up my corn. Now I'm looking at a bag of crab legs and shrimp with no corn in it.
Yep.
You know, I'm going to be mad.
Can't have it.
But...
Okay, on that comment, I kind of want to put my wife on the phone so she can share a little bit.
Okay.
Because she's a lot more educated in words than I am. I'm not good with always wording things. But to give you a little bit of insight how hard it is to actually get corn out of your diet. My last name is Sarah.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Good. He said, go ahead.
Oh, I was just to clarify a little bit. So much information. I got to try and figure out where to start. So, like back in the day, like heirloom corn and heirloom wheat had some gluten in it, but our modern corn and modern wheat has been genetically modified to have up to 200% concentration of gluten, which is just too much for our bodies. Our bodies were never made to handle that amount. And some people are more sensitive than others, and that's what they call allergies. But the theory is that it's not good for anybody. It's just people like me who, break out in hives from it. But they've put corn or corn byproducts in about 97% of everything that's in the grocery store. It's in lunch meat, corn sugars to make the meat sweeter, sodas, of course, juices. There's corn byproduct in bread rolls. What else? And that's
and they hide it.
Yeah, they don't label it as corn. They label it as monoendiglycerides.
Because it's sweet.
Yeah.
There was one instance where there's a company called DAIYA, and they said that their food was gluten-free and everything. We thought it was safe. My wife started to go into almost a shock.
Well, when I talked to a specialist, she said it sounds like my reactions are pre-anaphylactic.
So we called the company, and come to find out, the Samsung gum they were putting in their products has corn in it, as well as the natural flavors. And by law, they don't have to label that.
Because corn is not considered to be a top allergen. It doesn't have to be labeled. But there's corn byproduct in almost all pills or medications on the market. From the corn syrup in something you'd give your child to drink, a medicine you'd give them to drink, to a corn-based wax around the outer coating, edible grade wax, around the outer coating of the pill so it's easier to swallow.
We're gonna do a show probably even next week where we talk about these things right here, and to include the food colorings. People don't understand the food coloring, the coloring that they use in the food has a different effect on you and on your body.
Yes.
Red 40 causes me to have bipolar effects.
See?
And like once we took red out of my son's diet, because before that he would swell up behind the ears, these little knots. And it was because of the red dye.
Exactly.
In the food.
Yep. And see, there's a lot of different
red dye is made from an insect husk that's actually poisonous.
Well, again, some people are allergic to
Right.
it and they have horrible reactions.
Well, the Aboriginals around there use it as a type of poison.
Exactly. But listen, I'm looking at the clock, man. It's 9:56. Time for us to get ready to get out of here. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
What's on my heart is that people understand that the future is about health. And that one, especially with us certain communities, if you're going to look back, look at the stuff that caused you to be in the situation that you're in that you don't like.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's because of habits and culture that you have to change.
Yeah.
You have to change those things that's causing you to keep from going forward.
Immediately.
Because it's not cool. Younger people are just dying now. 50 is still young, isn't it?
Yeah, it's supposed to be. I thought it was.
You shouldn't be ready to kill over at 50.
Kick the bucket at 50 years old.
Especially, I think about my grandparents who both lived over 90. If I got 40 more years, I want to live it with at least a reasonable portion of my health and strength.
Exactly. Let me go. We're gonna go around and touch everybody real quickly. It's time for us to get out of here. So everybody keep your comments real brief. Let's start with our K. K, what's on your heart? K, you there? K, I'm about to say it to you. Wake up and go to sleep. Wake up and go to sleep.
Hang on, milk. K, washing clothes and milk. Take a trash out. I'm about like the Toya said. Y'all know I got a lot going on. Y'all don't know that, but they got a lot going on.
I got you. What's on your heart before we get out of here?
I'm just gonna tell y'all to just stay prayed up, and whatever you do, if you gotta look back over the past, just to look back over the past to see where you done went, to strengthen you, never to weaken you.
Absolutely. Toya with a T.
Y'all know she busy. She got a lot going on.
You already know I'm in here scattering, smothering up. Listen, this conversation was for somebody. My roommate and I just up here talking. Because yesterday somebody was talking to me about Black people and vitamin D. And for us to have this conversation today, the Lord knows somebody needed to hear this, be aware of it, or look around, y'all. So thank y'all for y'all comments, man. Y'all are doing good right here. I love you for continuing to try to make sure you broaden our horizons to know different things, because I clearly believe that these conversations, God knows somebody need them, and that's why he turned it the way he turned it. Forget what they talking about in the past. He trying to get us back on our health stuff. So good job, y'all. We learning, man. Keep it going. I love y'all.
Love y'all. Love you as well. Love you as well. Badger.
I just feel privileged for you guys letting me join and everything and being able to share stuff.
Man, you family now, brother. You family now.
And I'm going to download the 4 agreements.
The biggest thing I hope people are getting from the lessons and the conversations that we all are having is it isn't just about physical health, but it's about spiritual health, mind, body, and soul.
Exactly. Donald Toussaint.
One thing we left out: fasting and praying.
Yes, sir.
We'll get it every time. It's a cleansing, with including reading of God's word. Do what you want, but the scripture says, "Man shall not live by bread alone, but every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God."
Absolutely,
man live.
Good deal. Bishop.
Yes, sir. Right here.
In your closing, sir.
Well, to God be the glory. Thank God for you and the topic that you bring up, and for everyone that takes the time to call and to give their opinions and objective views. And today was a very great subject you dealt with. I appreciate hearing everything that I heard. And again, man, thank God for you, DKM.
To God be the glory. To God be the glory. Leonard.
Man, if you did not get a chance,
come on,
to hear the show in its entirety,
what you talk about?
You log on to www.dkmmediagroup.com at 3:00 Eastern today. And also remember, with my closing comments, execute true justice, show mercy and compassion, everyone to his brother. Do not oppress the widow or the fatherless, the alien or the poor. Let none of you plan evil in his heart against his brother.
Absolutely. Time for us to get out. Let me see, can I put Badger on the spot? Badger, you still with us?
Yes, sir.
Pray us out, brother.
Huh? Pray us out?
Yes, sir. Badger said, what?
Oh, man.
We're going to put you on the spot now. Eventually, it will come around to you. Pray us out, brother.
Creation, I give thanks that everyone that was a part of the conversation or just listening in continues to be able to be heard, and may us be able to uplift others and guide them closer to the light, learn to let go, and just learn to be a part of. Man, I'm trying not to cry. I just want to give thanks to be allowed to participate in the creative works that are going on right now, and that I found these amazing people with the messages that they're sharing. Because it doesn't matter what culture we come from, we're all one. And it's amazing to hear others of that. So please watch over everyone and do your best to guide them like you always do. I hope. That's Cherokee for amen, by the way.
Amen. Okay. You kind of caught me out there for a second.
Amen.
A beautiful prayer, brother. Beautiful prayer. Bishop, anything on your heart?
All is well.
All is well.
Glory, y'all.
Yes, sir. It is now 10. It is now. What you say, Donald?
Me and Bishop will never have glaucoma.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord. We look. You know where you're going, don't you, Leonard?
I'm not fooling with Tucson.
Lord, my Jesus.
It's a minute after already.
Exactly.
I'm not fooling with Tucson. It's gonna make me start laughing.
Exactly. Listen, it's been a great broadcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DK Media Group and associates to be a part of your day. Thank you for letting the Morning Glow be a part of your day as well. It is now 10:03. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we are certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you could do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And we shine some of this light on you from the Morning Glow. Take it out into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. You all have a great day. Get an opportunity to give somebody some love. You just might get some love in return. Y'all have a great day. Love you.
Love you too.
Man.